for fools, and he never took no lip. I had the cereal for his hair, and then he came and he saw some shit he said.
Hello, and welcome. We're back. Here we go. We're on. We got it. We're recording. Everything's good. Everything's great. We're back. What up, guys? How we doing? Ladies, guys, everything in between. We're here. We've done it. Check out that link I sent you. What link did you send me? Where did you send it? Was it on Facebook? Send it again. I don't know which link you're talking about. Let's find out. I guess we'll just jump straight in. Hi, my name's Corey. Thanks for coming. Hi, how's it going? I was fucking running around. I didn't see that. That's gross. Thug Gumby. So super body? Super body. What do you mean super body? Sup everybody. Oh, sup everybody. I got you. You're saying everybody. Like, yo, what's up, everybody? Everybody in this house getting twisted. There we go, like that. Let's go down here. Man, tonight's gonna be a weird one. I don't know which direction it's gonna fall. I'm very excited for our first book guest tonight. However, he also hit me up around 3 p.m. today and told me how drunk he was and how he had been drinking all night. So he might not even be like ready, you know? That could be a problem that we run into.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah. What do you guys, how are you feeling? We're here. It's a fucking Monday. Is that what it is? Is it Monday? Yep. Mikey's still here doing his farm sim shit. Fuck yeah. Okay. Ooh, we got a smart one. Let's see here. Yeah, it's gonna be a weird one. She started like jerking the ween. She started like jerking the ween. Sasquatch forced me to do it. Okay. I don't know what any of that means, but all right. I believe you. I believe that you want to believe you. Ugh, I don't have time. I'm in the middle of this, man. I'm trying to coordinate a show. Trying to see what's going on. I don't know what to do, you know? It's just going to be one of those. I think what we should do right out of the gun is just you know, just lean in. That's what we got to do. We got a really weird news cycle day today. Kim Jong-un is still not known if he's alive or dead. Let's take a look. Trump's weighing in now. No way that cleared things up, right? Trump claims that he knows how he's doing. Is that real? Is that a real thing? I don't know for sure. Hold on. Hold on. Playing out this stupid fucking ad. Because that's how it works. Monday, yeah. Monday is our Thursday, baby. Welcome to Monday. Was a milk dud related injury? Could have been. Oh, Thug Gumby, thanks for the follow. It's super red. Here we go. Here it is. We found it. This was Trump earlier today, I think, on Kim Jong-un. No, it's not going to play. Of course not. Why would... You know, we started out so good. Why would any of it be easy, right? Of course not. Now we got to refresh. We hit play, which means we got to rewatch that stupid fucking ad. Oh, Mikey Two Milks, thanks for the host. That's awesome. That's either really nice or you think I'm boring. So, whatever. My daughter was all pumped about seeing your comedy show live, but everyone's scared to death. Paranoia kept her inside and alone on her birthday. Oh, that's sad. Way to bring it to a real uplifting place. That's sad, man. That bums me out. let's see here. Is it going to work this time, or is it just every time now? Oh my god. If you guys could see this, like it's pretty hilarious. Every time I do it, it like goes to refresh, and then the moment it does that, it's leaving me to listen to these fucking ads again. So this is our third cycle of ads. I need a new overlay. You don't like this one? What's wrong with this one? I think this one works really well. I don't know. I tried for Easter and it didn't really work out so well. We had that weird ass fucking Easter egg shit. Wasn't necessarily the best moves. All right, I want to see if we can do it like this. All right, let's see if we got. I think we got it this time. Let's see.
Update on Kim Jong-un's health. Have you gotten any update on Kim Jong-un's health? Has he responded to your letter from March?
On Kim Jong-un? I can't tell you exactly. Yes, I do have a very good idea, but I can't talk about it now. I just wish him well. I've had a very good relationship with Kim Jong-un. If I weren't president, you'd be in war. You would have been in war with Korea. You would have been in war with North Korea if I wasn't president. That I can tell you. He expected that. That I can tell you. I hope he's fine. I do know how he's doing, relatively speaking. We will see. You'll probably be hearing in the not too distant future.
So he knows how he's doing, but he wishes him well, right? Like that's kind of weird. I know exactly how he's doing, but good luck. Pretty good. Yeah, the Easter overlay did feel like a bad trip, right? Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I mean, I could, if you guys want, I'll grab a new, like, we could start a day if you guys want where I will just do a new overlay. I just, like, truth be told, I'm kind of lazy, and this one works. Corey, you need to play Untitled Goose Game. Yeah, I want to. That Goose Game looks awesome as hell. Like, it's just, I get to be a goose and a dick to people. Into that. I don't want to brag, but that seems like it's made out of all my fucking wheelhouse, right? Okay. Oh, our first guy's ready to go. Let's get in. Here we go.
I'm here.
How are you?
Good.
Hi. Welcome. You're being broadcast live over Twitch right now.
Nice.
Yeah, how's it going?
Great.
Identify to the listeners who exactly you are, or more importantly, what exactly you fucking own, baby.
Well, first of all, I own this sweet D right here between these thick thighs. No, just kidding. I am owner and proprietor of Jelly Bean and Julia's Barbecue on beautiful West Main Street in Anoka. And, yeah, we're just, business is booming.
Is it?
Yeah, amid all this fucking lockdown. I can swear on this, right?
Yeah, you can fucking swear on this. No,
All
hey,
right, cool.
Hey, do me a favor. Keep it PG, even though it's not rated.
All right, I'll keep it as clean as I can keep it. Yeah, we're experiencing weird times. It's a weird time to be in the world, especially trying to run a business where people want to come and sit down and eat and have a beer and everything. But we're managing. We're expanding.
Oh, are you?
And we're adding on to our dining room. We're taking over the adjacent space.
Wait, so are you going to
1st.
rip down that wall and have a bigger room then?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, dude. Let me know when you want to do comedy, dude. I'll do comedy in that place.
Yeah, we're trying to get something figured out for the dining room. It's all a huge nightmare right now.
Hey man, I'll do it for cheap too. You can pay me in barbecue.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. Trying to figure out some kind of performance space, but the main thing is to get the two dining rooms joined. I'm dealing with
That's
all
pretty
the
exciting
stuff
because
with
like a year and a half ago when I talked to you, you were talking about how you were going to keep the lights on. Now you're expanding.
Right. Yeah, it's grown. You know, grassroots style, word of mouth, mostly Facebook.
Tell everybody on here, like, your history with barbecue. Like, how did you get in it? You were actually, like, saying you were manning the pit when I, like, asked you if you wanted to call in.
Yeah. Well, Mondays were dark, as they say in the business.
Oh, yeah? Is that an insider barbecue term?
I believe that's a Broadway term.
Oh, okay, because your meat is such a production, they get fucking a black week or black day?
Yeah. We're family owned. It's myself, my wife.
What's for the website?
Daughter.
Do you just go through the Facebook?
We have our own website. That's www.jellybeanandjulias.com. It's one of these like Squarespace kind of a deal.
Sure.
Or not Squarespace.
Yeah, Squarespace.
It's not Squarespace. It's some other one that's a do-it-yourself that you can do your own.
Like Wix or some bullshit.
Yeah, that you can sell your own products on. I mean, originally it was meant to like sell our.
It's powered by Shopify.
Shopify, that's it.
There you go. Yeah, I've got it up here so everybody can see it because I feel like if you're gonna be kind enough to take some fucking time with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all right, so sales are actually, you said they're not I threw up the link in chat for anybody that wants to go. Otherwise it's Jelly Bean and Julia. That's no barbecue in there, huh?
No, just jellybeanandjulias.com. I think it's probably because that's more of like our legal name. We added the bar BBQ when we opened the restaurant.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because we had a food truck for about 2 years that was just Jelly Bean and Julia's. So, yeah.
So if I wanted to scab you, I would just copyright Jelly Bean and Julia's barbecue, and then I would open up right next to you.
Yeah, or you could squat on the domain, If we ever change it, then you could,
Yeah, I like it. We've already passed up the effort I'm willing to spend on this. What was your history with barbecue? Like, because I don't know. I know you as a comic back in the day, and like you'd played in like some bands, and then just out of nowhere, it was like, oh yeah, and he also runs one of the better barbecue places in the city. Like, I always thought that was super weird because you're like, dick jokes, fucking metal riffs, barbecue.
Well, it goes like this. I grew up playing in metal bands from the time I was 13 until I was 30. And sort of in my mid-20s, the band I was in at the time called Hook Echo,
that is a dope-ass name, though.
Yeah, it was a dope-ass band, too. We went in 2002, we went to New York. We were being shopped around to the labels, and it just didn't happen for us. But my backup plan was always, hey, make $1 million or whatever money I made with the band, assuming we're going to get a record deal and all that shit, and be the guy that has the restaurant to fall back on. And, well, we just never got the record deal. The band fizzled out, and I started doing barbecue as a hobby just because I love barbecue, and I cooked in, many different capacities when I was younger, but I never learned how to cook barbecue. So when I got married, it was like, hey, let's have our own little backyard wedding reception, and let's do it barbecue style. So the summer of 2000...
So the way this works is we're being broadcast live on my Twitch channel, and there's a lot of people in the channel that talk, so they're going to ask you questions now and again.
Oh, sure. Okay.
The first one is actually Steven Tovar, who just says, dude, I miss your cue so much.
Well, tell Tovar, my Russian friend, to come up here and get some carryout.
Your Russian friend?
That's what my oldest daughter, Naomi Jellybean, she always calls him, hey, your Russian friend is here. I don't know if it's the beard and the missing teeth. I don't know.
It's just Russian?
He looks Eastern Bloc for some reason.
Excuse me, bitch.
But, I don't know. Yeah, I think Tovar looks a lot of things, but not Russian. I think Russian is a really weird thing to me.
Well, maybe the beard is a little Rasputinish, you know?
Oh, hey, Corey, did you know, Run Out of Thoughts wants you to ask you, do you know that Tom smokes crack? So it's an ongoing bit and like almost an expose product of this show to prove without a shadow of a doubt that Tom Chilstrom does crack. Because I feel like he's just a crackhead, but he won't open up to us, you know?
I feel like he's the world's fattest crackhead, if that's the truth.
Right. Tovar says, I come from a small Russian village called Tijuana.
Oh, I love it.
So okay, you got into amateur queuing. You were just doing it by yourself.
Well, we were doing it in the backyard to just do our own wedding, and then the next year, it's just we're backyard hobbyists, and people say, "Oh, hey, we're having a party. How about if you bring a couple pans of that pulled pork?" And then it grew from there.
Okay.
2010, I went down to Missouri. I bought a rotisserie smoker, so now I could cook chicken and ribs for 200 people. So the parties just kept getting bigger. And then the food truck. Then we sold the food truck. We took a couple years off, and then the restaurant happened out of nowhere. It just happened.
Sure.
Now I'm, like they say, I'm living the dream.
Yeah, what was that dream for you? Okay, so all right, so that's how it happens, and you're living the dream. At what point was the dream also trying comedy?
Well, the trying comedy thing always, it's like everybody I believe that's ever tried comedy. You have a group of friends that you crack up on a daily basis, and one or two of them always say, "Oh, you're so funny. You should be a comedian. You should try stand up." You just always go, "No, I couldn't do that. That's too hard."
You know what the funniest thing about that is, though, that paradigm is that everybody who's told that shouldn't do comedy or won't do comedy, they're always like, "Oh no, I shouldn't have done that," right? Whereas like everybody like me that's gonna do it or thinks they should do it, they get told all the time that like I should quit. You know what I mean? Like everybody else gets the fucking like you get all the nurturing. You're like, "Oh yeah, you should be a comedian." Whereas I am a comedian and I just get told I should quit all the fucking time.
You get the, "Hey, you're not too old to find a real job yet," right?
Yeah, right?
No, I have to
Tom Chilstrom says, "No joke, get your asses over to J&J."
Tom Chilstrom is and was a huge fan of our food, and ever since he moved far away, I haven't seen him much. But Tovar, Chilstrom, Brian.
I've been in there a few times. I love that place.
It's great. It's only gotten better. We got our wine and beer license last fall, so now you can get a beer, or a glass of wine, or a wine cocktail. We don't have booze, so we make a bloody geisha. So we have sake and add it to the bloody mix.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
For the brunch shit or whatever.
So, all right, when you were doing your experimental like barbecue phase, right? Like before it became a restaurant or whatever, right? When you were first starting the restaurant, in your mind were you like, I'm totally going to use this sauce I've been working on, or did you start from scratch on new sauces? Because the thing that I always thought was interesting about your place is you don't have the usual like culprits as far as sauces.
Yeah. If I try and think about it, I'm trying to think if we even had. I'm pretty sure we just had the barbecue sauce on the food truck and the jams. I'm trying to think where the other sauces, like the mango habanero and the mustard sauce, probably didn't come in until we opened the restaurant. And I poached the bourbon apple barbecue from a barbecue bulletin board that I frequented, that I actually learned a lot of my techniques from back in the day, called the Smoke Ring. It was
the smoke ring?
It was like it was an old.
Is that where
like
you take?
ring.
Is that where you take a sweet ass rip and then blow it like a spaghettio into the air?
Yes, it is.
I like how you're. Yes, it is.
It is now, but back in the day, if you remember what a web ring was, these youngsters these days, that most people don't even. It's all apps now. Who even goes to a fucking website, right?
Yeah, that's why I asked you. You remember when I first asked you? I was like, "Hey, man, fucking, like, do you have a real website or is it just Facebook?" Because just how many places don't even have a real website anymore? I mean, that's just like what it is.
Yeah, and the real website really is just a place for like the menu, for people to go and take a look at the menu. The Facebook page sort of is the main portal, and Google. So Google will drive people to the website. or give them directions to the restaurant or the phone number they'll call.
Mr. Black Minneapolis says, "Fucking hell, web rings. Please join my Star Trek fanfic web ring."
Exactly. So this was basically a barbecue web ring that connected a bunch of barbecue-related sites, but the main part of this page was their old school bulletin board.
Hey, Corey. Making You Wet, which is a screen name, right? Just joined and said, "I don't know who the guest is, but I love talking sauce. Quick, promote your restaurant. Quick, go.
Talking sauce. Okay, Jelly Bean and Julia's. We are 530 West Main Street in Anoka. The barbecue sauce is great. I think the meat stands alone. I can honestly say there's plenty of people that get this barbecue that don't even take the sauce. And we're a barbecue sauce company, so that says something, I believe.
The way you broke that down did sound like a cue card towards the end. You're like, that does say something, I believe. Now, quick, pause for the audience to realize they should be clapping.
That's right.
I don't know. I just think it's interesting because, again, I know you from a different vein. You know what I mean? Because I met you when you were doing comedy at Willie's, and, again, it was just so weird and random to me because it's like, you and I always got along. I would give you shit because you spell Corey wrong.
Well, I'll tell you, it goes further back because I have a friend from way back in the day named Austin Kennedy.
Oh, I know Austin.
Okay, so Austin was the first person that I knew personally to do comedy. So back in probably 2013.
Oh, it was probably further back than that. It was probably closer to
maybe
2010.
20.
We're old now.
Yeah, but 10 years goes by. It seems like 3 years, so it's hard for me to remember. But I remember going to see him at a few shows, and that's when he started hanging around with the Daryl Horner.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell was that tour? Kevin Kraft.
Oh, the when Verbally Vicious went on tour or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So he went with even though he was, I don't know, maybe he didn't do comedy yet, but he was like their documentarian.
Yep.
Because he's an indie filmmaker of sorts.
Oh, and he's like a heroic film nerd. I don't know that I've ever met anybody that knows more about film than Austin Kennedy. I actually have been talking to him, and he will be on the show at some point.
Great. It's perfect because he has had several iterations of movie blogs or podcasts. He's done a few of them. I can definitely say he's the first person I know that's on the spectrum or whatever for an Asperger's type thing because he fits it to a T. You know, he's not good in social settings. He's hyper-focused on movies. He always has been since he was a young kid.
Well, and he had one of my favorite podcasts. That movie podcast that he was doing was so interesting and so different than what other people were doing, I thought. And he just stopped. He has so many good ideas that he just stops doing. It's almost frustrating.
Yeah, and I think that's where a little bit of the ADHD comes in. I think probably a little flavoring of that mixed in with the Asperger's isn't really a good combination. But yeah, he's a really funny guy. And when he started doing comedy, I thought, well, if this guy can get up and do comedy, what's stopping me from doing it? And the band I was in, which is pretty much the same lineup as the original band I've been playing in some form or another for the last 20 some odd years.
Do you guys still practice together? Do you play out ever? I mean, obviously not now during the Rona, but
no. What happened was when I started the restaurant, I pretty much quit the band. We let the practice space go, and then our drummer immediately joined a bar band and started making money doing that. Because hey, he's a rock drummer. All he has to do is play a 4/4 beat and know where to put the fills in, right? So he can jump on stage with any band and play all night, and that's
so
what
like
he
the opposite of Ringo Starr.
Yeah, the opposite. He took off, and then occasionally we'd get together. Well, last year we had a reunion of our old band. We got together. We actually rehearsed in the restaurant because it was a one-off. We didn't want to have to, take a rehearsal space. So we would move all the tables and chairs out of the middle of the restaurant, load in the amps and the drums, and rock the restaurant on a Sunday night. And then last May, I believe it was May the 4th, so we're coming up on a year ago, we did a show out at the Doghouse, which used to be called The Rock in Maplewood.
Yeah, I remember. I've done comedy at the Doghouse.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, it's a great venue.
Herb Brown and Joe Horak used to have a room out there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm just sort of, I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Like, when is this shit going to end, man? I mean, I know pretty much where your political views lie, and I agree with a lot of it. I kind of put myself somewhat in the same category. I'm really interested I haven't really seen much of you posting much lately. I follow your posts.
Yeah, well, I mean, but like
media.
trolling people became a bummer. Like, they took the fun out of trolling. All these fucking morons that are sitting at home feeling sad, it's just like, I don't know, it's like kicking someone when they're down.
Yeah. Well,
Freaky Deaky just subscribed for their second month. Thank you so much. Yeah, buddy. Talking some sauce. They want to get into the barbecue sauce. We're being they find this all very boring. Look, I don't want to brag. You might have had a history, you might have had a journey, but you're nothing more than a sauce monkey to us now.
Well, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I've started to accept that. I'll run into people out in the world and they recognize me. It's funny. I went to a gig down at Route 47, which used to be Pickle Park down in Fridley.
Oh man, I have a lot of memories of doing drugs at Pickle Park.
Well, it's still there, and well, at least it was anyway. We'll see if it emerges after all this. But I went to go see my old drummer's cover band play his bar band, and I'm hanging out, schmoozing with all the people I know there, the usual suspects. And a couple approaches me and they say, "Hey, are you that Jelly Bean and Julia's guy?" I said, "Yeah." "Oh, we come to your restaurant all the time. We're big fans." And
you're like, "Hey man, do you want me to autograph your Verde sauce?"
Yeah, it blew me away in a very strange, existential. I don't know what to call it.
Oh, yeah. I bet there. The first time I ever got spotted from comedy, I was at a gas station sifting through my pocket for change to buy some Mambas. The guy's like, "Oh, are you that comic? I'm a really big fan." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Can I have 10 cents?
Yeah. I don't have enough to cover tax.
Yeah.
Help me out.
Yeah. I thought you were a fan.
Yeah, so it's weird, but for me it was weird to be standing in the middle of a bar while a band is playing, and now to be recognized as a restaurateur or a cook, chef, whatever. When I said, "Hey, I used to be the guy up there on stage. This is really weird. This is a weird moment for me, but it's happening."
And they just said, "Shut up and give us more wings."
Yeah. They're like, "Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Make with the heart attack and the ribs,
Yeah, right.
And it's just, and then I went probably 2 weeks ago. I stopped into the local Costco because I need to stock up on ribs. For some reason, the only place I can find ribs now is Costco, so I have to go through that nightmare of getting into that social distancing crap.
Yeah.
And I made my way to the back of the meat department, and I found the ribs. And I'm picking up my ribs, and this couple wanders over, and they say, "We just got ourselves a pellet smoker. We're kind of new to this barbecue thing. What can you tell us about the ribs?" And I just said,
pellet smoker is one of my favorite slurs.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
In the barbecue world, it is kind of a slur. It's the word pellet smoker in barbecue groups is like the most divisive thing you can say besides.
Wait. Back the fuck up. Wait. Okay,
fat
stop.
Cap up or fat
No,
cap
stop.
down.
Stop.
What?
Back the fuck up. You're telling me that there's fucking hipsters in barbecue? Like, isn't the whole point of barbecue to just eat a bunch of food and chill out?
Hey, man, if there's a Facebook group that exists, there's drama on that page, regardless of the topic, whether it's motorcycle repair or fucking how to cook brisket.
Corey
That's just how it is.
Adams, and this is a Twitch screen name spelled it's Cory Adams, so just both names are misspelled. Says, will you make some Magic the Gathering videos? We'll get around to it. Right now we're talking barbecue. Calm down.
Is this the whole subsect of your Twitch channel is Magic the Gathering?
Well, I mean, like, the Twitch, like, I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm kind of just everything that interests me, just kind of cramming it in, right?
Right.
And, like, I don't know, I just love to hit up people. That's why, like, when you were talking, I was like, oh, shit, I need to get Corey out here, because, one, you can promote your shit, and I don't want to brag, but we're sitting at, like, 23 viewers, bro. You're getting famous.
Nice.
But yeah, I want to, A-Bombers is right. Shout out to Sinister Mind for subbing. That's awesome. Shout out to Mr. Black for cheering bits finally. Captain Judas says, your notifications are terrifyingly loud. Yeah, they're supposed to be. Get fucked. And then A-Bombs wants to know, I want to know the hidden barbecue drama. Go hard or what? Yeah, so what's like fill us into like the barbecue drama. What's the barbecue scene like? Like, because I can't imagine it's drama. That's so weird.
Just hold on. I was in the middle of a story. You got to let me finish.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So this older couple, and when I say older, I say they're my age, right? They're like mid-40s. Hey, we got the pellet smoker. And I said, well, I come here because these ribs are nice and heavy. They're thick. They're fatty. I love these ribs. I said, I have a restaurant. And they look at me and they go, yeah, we know you have a restaurant. And I said, you do? They said, you might not, this is funny, the girl kind of looks all shy and she goes, you might not remember us, but we went to high school with you. And she looks up and goes, you know, this is Mike George. And I went, oh my God, I know exactly who you guys are.
Sure.
I was at home and stoned out of my mind when I realized I had to run to Costco to buy ribs. And I was chatting, looking at these two people, not even really thinking about it. And I had this weird moment where these two people who, when I went to high school, to say that they were like the prom king and queen, along those lines, you know, popular, whatever.
Wouldn't be accurate because Anoka doesn't have kings or queens.
Well, I didn't go to Anoka. I went to Coon Rapids High School. Okay?
I wouldn't say that out loud. I would stick to Anoka. I feel like it's...
Okay, no,
actually, no,
listen,
you know what? I think Anoka's worse. I will give Anoka the nod over Coon Rapids.
Coon Rapids is the fourth most populous city in the entire state. I'll have you know.
But Anoka bills itself as Halloween capital, Halloween town. Like, fucking get fucked.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to hang your hat on for sure. But it's the county seat, you know. We got the county government and everything is in our downtown.
Okay,
but
and
anyway,
how does that help you with barbecue?
It doesn't. There's a mural on the end of our building that we're in. When you come off of Highway 10, we're right where Main Street starts. Main Street starts about 100 feet up from where our building is. That Main Street starts there, runs all the way through Coon Rapids, Blaine, out to Lino Lakes, I believe out to Forest Lake. We're right at the headwaters of fucking Main Street.
How many times have you said at the headwaters? I'm surprised you should rename your barbecue place to Headwater Brewery, you fuck.
It just popped in my head. So there's a big mural, welcome to Anoka, Halloween capital of the world, and then next to it, Anoka Shopping Center, because that's our illustrious strip mall here has a name. It's been here since 1954.
Wait, what was the name?
It's called the Anoka Shopping Center.
Oh, that sounds classy.
There used to be drugs. There used to be like a Red Owl, and maybe like a Snyder's drugstore.
Any relation to the Anoka Shopper?
I don't know. Possibly.
All right,
Shoppers,
stop trying to steer away from this drama, this barbecue drama.
Okay. Anyway, the barbecue drama in the barbecue world. One of my favorite.
What is the barbecue world? When you say that, what does that mean to people that aren't fucking sauce geeks?
Well, it can be anybody from backyard warriors like yourself to restaurateurs like me, anywhere around the world, but my favorite group that I belong to is called Texas Barbecue or some variation of that. It's a Facebook group, and it's people in Texas or people, cooking Texas-style barbecue. And you should see the fucking debates. It's like everything. A guy pops in, hey, I just got my first pellet smoker. And 150 people just flame them. It's in the barbecue world.
What do you mean, like flame them like they go after them? Like you guys troll each other and pick on like bad people?
Oh my God. A guy took a picture of a pellet smoker with Mattel Easy Bake Oven. The guy went to the toy section, grabbed an Easy Bake Oven, set it on top of a pellet smoker, snapped a pic, and posted it as...
That's awesome.
This is what I think of your fucking pellet smoker. It's an Easy Bake Oven. So these guys that are hardcore are like, hey, unless you're cooking with live fire, get the fuck out of here with the pellet smoker.
Really? So, like, they just look down on it? Like, why is it? Because it's just, like, cheating? Or why would they care?
Yeah, because it's set it and forget it. It's pretty easy. I think they're great for the average person that wants to get their feet wet into barbecue and start right away with, like, zero learning curve. They're great. You dump your pellets in. You set your thermostat to whatever temp you want, 200, 250. I think they go all the way up to about 450 degrees. You can damn near bake on those things. And, it's great. Like this guy that I ran into from high school, I said, perfect. You know nothing about barbecue. Pellet smoker is perfect. Plug it in, put your ribs on there, and you're in business.
Tovar says hashtag fuck pellets.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the difference in taste though? Like, is not pellets taste better or something? I mean, I know dick about any of this.
Well,
you're talking to somebody that has a Weber and uses just fucking like Kingsford charcoal. That's it. That's my extent.
That's good. And like I said, I have something for you that that you need to get, and I'm going to send you the link for it. It turns your Weber into a smoker.
Okay.
It's called a slow and sear.
I kind of wanted to make a smoker out of a filing cabinet to just make it look like I was kind of homeless.
Oh, yeah, you can do. A lot of people do that. Any kind of that's kind of a popular one too. Except for you're kind of limited what you can put on into those drawers of the filing cabinet.
Yeah. So okay, so when you're talking the difference in taste, do you think like blind taste test, you could taste the difference between pellets and actually smoked?
I don't know, but I'll tell you this. In the competition world, which is really cutthroat, there's people that use stick burners, and there's people that win competitions using pellet smokers. So there's got to be something to it, right? It's just a matter of personal preference.
Mr. Black, Minneapolis said, what was that attachment called again?
Slow and sear.
Slow and sear.
Slow N, kind of like Guns N' Roses.
Oh, I see what they did there. I'll find it and put the link up. But so you're saying, like, so why would you judge people so hard if you're not even you're not even confident you could taste the difference?
Yeah, it's posturing. It's people get a chip on their shoulder. It's people that it's Harley versus Triumph. I'm a Triumph guy.
Yeah, the right answer. Nobody wants to fucking fix Harleys all day. We're here to ride motorcycles.
Right. My dad has a Harley, and someday when he kicks a bucket, I'll inherit it. And at that point, I'll have to learn how to work on a Harley. Because
no, you won't. You'll have to find somebody to buy a Harley so you can buy a V-Star. That's what you're going to have to do.
Yeah. But, yeah, so that's all it is. It's just a matter of people being snobby. There's barbecue snobs just like there's car snobs and comedy snobs, whatever.
Everything's got a snob, right? So, like,
it really does.
Like, was there a certain moment in your life? I know I talked to Harriman a little bit about this with Sisyphus, but like, was there a moment in your life where the barbecue community just kind of started to annoy you and you were just like, whatever, fuck you guys, because you're just out doing your own thing?
Yeah, I mean, we've been in this game now for, God, I've been smoking for 12 years. We had the restaurant. We're going on almost October will be 4 years at the restaurant.
Is that weird? Is that weird to you that the restaurant's been open 4 years now?
Yeah, it is really weird. It's 4 years. It feels like 10 years. And we're just at the beginning, man. We just signed a 5-year lease for this whole extension thing. Mm-hmm. We still have people, even during the COVID lockdown, that are coming in that are new customers that are saying, oh, we've heard about you guys. We've heard it's really good. It's our first time. Oh, so it just doesn't stop. It just keeps growing. And the more and more we grow a loyal, return customer base, the more space we need. Before this shit happened, I'll tell you a quick story. Mid-January to mid-February, we got a couple internet articles that came out. One of them was on MSN Business Insider. It was these two girls did the story for that website, and it was according to Yelp. Here's the top barbecue joints state by state. So they had some weird Yelp metric, like how many Yelp reviews you had versus how high your reviews were. And somehow Yelp, which to me is like it's a dead app. Nobody really uses Yelp anymore. But they wrote this article, and all the people have MSN as like their homepage in Minnesota, saw this as like local news. Sure. And we started blowing the F up.
Okay.
It started blowing up. And then 2 weeks later, another one of these only in your state or only in Minnesota, that goofy website where they'll do like, here's this weird prime rib joint out in the middle of nowhere. You got to check them out.
Matt
or whatever.
Doima, Matt Doima says most people rate on Google or Facebook.
Right, exactly. And we've got very good Google and very good Facebook ratings. But this article, which was about Yelp, which to me seemed like clickbait, I wasn't sure if it was real. I literally emailed the author of the article and said, "What is this? Is this real? Is this clickbait?" She says, "Yes, it's real. We did the research. Here's the thing, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Thank you. I needed to confirm that." But it got a lot of eyes on the restaurant, basically free advertising. And then the next one came out 2 weeks later. So by mid-February, by Valentine's Day, I mean, we had a line out the door all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's a line out the door. And my Tuesdays and Wednesdays, which used to be the slowest day of the week, I was now getting the same kind of numbers I used to get on a Saturday. And my Saturdays, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays had like doubled. So we were freaking out. I was trying to staff up. I'm trying to push my landlords here to get us into this expansion thing.
Yeah.
And right when we hit our peak, busyness, I hired some dishwashers, and I'm trying to get this stuff going, is right when the lockdown happened.
Sure. Tovar just said, "I heard the good news about this expansion earlier this week. It makes me so happy to know my favorite barbecue joint isn't going anywhere."
Yeah, we're putting down roots in the ugly armpit of Anoka. That's what
Your roots were always there. Shut up, you ugly fuck.
Yeah.
Jeff Rogers says, "The wife and I love barbecue. I will definitely be by your place to take an order from you next week." And then he said, "Can you recommend a signature dish that I should try?"
Yeah, you definitely have to try the brisket.
2 people in the chat room have said ribs and waffles.
Yep, the rib and waffles on the weekends is very good for the breakfast stuff. And we just brought the breakfast back, not this last weekend, but the weekend before. We haven't done it since the lockdown happened because, to-go breakfast is kind of, I've never been a fan of people coming and getting the breakfast to go.
Yeah.
You throw it in a foam box, you get it home, your waffle's all soggy.
Tovar
idea.
says corn fritters are a must-have.
Yeah, the corn fritters. I tell everybody that first comes to the restaurant to do the sampler platter if you're 2 people, which is the pork, the brisket, Texas toast, the homemade pickles, the cornbread fritters, and all 4 of our homemade sides.
All right,
if you have more than... Okay.
Are you ready for the trolls? I told you they would come out, right?
Okay.
We have Mikey Two Milk saying, Arby's makes killer barbecue. We have the meats.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Thug Gumby said, I only eat Arby's barbecue. And then Mikey Two Milk says, McRibs are also badass, too.
McRib is legit, for sure.
Really? Maybe don't say that while you're promoting your place. So keep going about the sampler that they should get.
So anyway, yeah, the sampler platter is like, it's sort of our 2 main proteins with all 4 of our sides. You get the cornbread fritters that have the jalapeno jam. We put the meat on the buttery Texas toast. It soaks up all the juices from the meat. And probably one of my favorite stories is someone came in and said, oh, our son heard that we were coming here for our date night, and he called dibs on our leftover Texas toast. Because it has all the barbecue juices in it.
Tom Chilstrom says your mac and cheese is dope.
The mac and cheese. We have a new side that we've been doing for the last year, which is collard greens, which a lot of people that come to Jelly Bean and Julia's still ask, what is brisket? They don't even know that brisket is beef. So tell a white person from Anoka County to try some collard greens. They kind of look at you funny. But we make a stock from all of our leftover pork shoulder bones and the leftover trimmings from that and all the fat. And we make our own stock, and then from that stock, my wife makes collard greens from scratch with brisket scraps as well. And they're really good. I've had people tell us, if you like greens, this is the place.
So was there a moment before the restaurant where you ate something you cooked and you're like, this is going to be restaurant time? Because I honestly, I'll level with you. I have always, fancied myself owning an Italian restaurant at some point because I have a bunch of sauces and shit, and I just think it would be kind of an interesting venture. And I grew up waiting tables and doing management in restaurants, so, I understand how to do it. There's not a lot of money in it unless you get lucky, but, whatever.
Right. Well, the thing is, the overhead... The profit margin is so thin. We started adding the wine and beer. That helps a little bit. But my whole job really, my wife she's the culinarian. I'm just a glorified burger flipper. I man the pit, but she's the one that really develops all the recipes.
Who does more of the sauces?
My wife does all that. She does the sauce. She does the jam. She does the sides. She'll do a lot of the barbecue is kind of shared. I'll start it. Like right now, I'm smoking pork shoulders and briskets for tomorrow. I'll probably be here until 3. I usually go to bed at 2 or 3 a.m. when she's getting up, so we're sort of on opposite schedules.
So she works during the morning and you work in the evening?
Right, and she comes in, takes over. I try to have all the barbecue done and resting by the time I go home and go to bed. So when she comes in, she pulls the pork, pans all that up, gets the brisket put away, and then she starts to prep for the day, making the mac and cheese and the beans and the slaw and the cornbread fritters. It's all super labor intensive, so she kind of keeps these baker's hours. She's here at 4 a.m. and then she's usually out of here by noon. So it really is a labor of love. She always says the secret ingredient is love. And it sounds corny.
Why? Yeah, everything
cliche.
Either of you two say sounds like the worst PR campaign ever.
But she says it all the time. She's the behind-the-scenes person. But it's true. She could write those recipes down, and we could hire somebody. We could hire a prep cook to execute that recipe.
Why,
though? It's not going to be Exactly. It's not going to be the same.
And it's somebody you'd have to pay. You can do it yourself for free.
Right.
While still telling the people that, hey, I'm an employee. I'm a smoke. I mean, you know.
Right. Right. And that's the thing. They know how it goes. They know that she's in the back cooking up the creations. I'm the one that's out front serving it. I'm kind of the face.
Yeah.
She wants to be, she wants to be anonymous.
You do, like, your fucking body, like, your fucking beard and your fucking giant fucking gut. Like, you look like a guy who I would trust on barbecue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you kind of, like, you look like a younger, more slender, famous Dave, you know? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, you have that, there's this, like, fucking weird-ass, bizarro fucking barbecue look that some fucking assholes have. You have it. You got the barbecue look, boo.
Yeah, I really haven't tried for that. It's just years of research. Let's
Mikey, so we're back.
way.
We're back into the trolls. Mikey Two Milk says, "What are collard greens? I usually smoke my collard greens."
Yeah, I've gotten into that too lately. In no small part thanks to you. I've actually been thinking about you a lot lately because I've been coming up with a lot of, let's say, comedy ideas, comedy bits.
Okay.
Usually while I'm high.
Yep, that makes sense.
Usually while I'm really high and I'm at home and I'm just, I'm doing mundane things and something will pop into my head and I'll go, that's kind of funny. And then I second guess. I go, but is it just funny to me right now because I'm high?
The answer is probably.
Would this be funny?
Oh God.
On a stage in front of people? And
okay, go ahead. But, give me what you got. Go ahead. What do you got?
No, I don't have any. I can't. That's the thing. I haven't been writing this shit down because it comes into my brain and then I just let it go away because I go, no, I can't. No, you're just stoned and being stupid. So I let it slip away.
Just say I can't.
I can't. I can't right now. But I'll tell you this. I was going through my laptop. Hey, in the lockdown, you're bored as shit, right? What are we doing? We're doing this.
Yeah.
I went through my laptop to clean it out. I'm getting a new laptop. I'm trying to back up all my files so I can put it in the new laptop.
Look at you with like fucking expanding your barbecue. Fucking now you've got fucking like laptop money. Like shit.
Oh,
you're
God.
You're downplaying this shit. It's going well.
So I came across the 2014 funniest person in Coon Rapids or whatever it was from Willie's.
You should send that to me and we'll watch it on the show. I feel like people don't know what Willie's was, but we should watch it on the show.
Okay, I'll try and figure out a way to send it to you. I'll have to see how big that file is. It was off my phone. I had whoever recorded for me in the audience. I believe my band members were there that night. Probably my dad.
Tovar says Corey should start a prop comedy routine with brisket.
Oh, God. Sort of a Jeff Dunham thing, but instead of puppets, I just hold it like, should it be raw brisket or like cooked brisket?
Excuse me, bitch.
I hate you both. I just want you to know that. I hate you both. You're not Tovar's to blame, but you're not helping. Jeffrey Rogers wants to know, how old is the grill you make the burgers on? I have the picture of you back with like the grill right there.
I don't know. I'm not. You know what? Is there a way for me to get on your Twitch thing while we're talking?
Yeah, of course there is. You just go on Twitch.
Grandpa Corey Swap doesn't know about these things.
All right. What kind of phone do you have, Corey? We're going to walk you through this. Here we go. Welcome to Tech Support. My name's Corey Adam. I will be your guide through this cacophony of what I will assume will be angst. Here we go.
Okay, well, I have an Android phone, so I'm in my Google Play Store.
Okay, so yeah, just type in Twitch, TWITCH.
All right, it's downloading.
Yep, download. I know that a lot of the times it's hard these days because the kids like to spell shit differently, but this is one of the old school spelled how it sounds app.
So is this similar to that platform that was out a couple years ago that all the comedians were using? What the fuck was that thing called?
I have no idea what you're even talking about, man.
It was like people would live stream stuff through it.
Yeah, like Periscope?
Periscope, that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Periscope, except it's designed for video games, but it also supports doing talk shows like this. Most of the content you're going to find on here is people playing video games. It's pretty fun.
See, I'm not much of a gamer, unfortunately.
Jeff Rogers says Corey is the only working white tech support in the game right now.
I believe that. Okay, I'm trying to open it.
There you go.
Sign up.
You can skip that. You can sign up later if you want. I mean, whatever.
Should I do my super funny screen name?
Yeah,
Good
you're right.
Lord.
Let's do it all right here. What's your super funny screen name? We're going to take you from not having Twitch to being in the channel so you can interact with these chuckalopes.
I am Sith Lord Smoke.
Oh, man, I get it. Because you like... Wait, hold on. Because you like Star Wars and you smoke.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Oh, they're telling me my password is too weak.
Yeah, well, you should be lucky they stopped at just the password.
Well, I know the name is weak, too, but...
Mikey Two Milks wants to know if you smoke crack.
No. Tom Chilstrom smokes crack.
Oh, okay.
Not me.
See, look at that. He's already got the bit, you guys. This is a first time listener, and he's already got it.
Oh, shit! That's what you call a cowback, everybody.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
Funniest working barbecue pitmaster in the biz right here.
Oh, God. Oh. This is the sad part when you have to scroll all the way back to 1977 for your birth date.
And now you're just helping people dox you. Your name, your birthday, like you want to give address, your mom's maiden name, perhaps. I mean, like, why don't you just tell the people in this channel to steal your fucking business, Corey?
Why does it keep telling me my password is too weak? How many different characters do I need to use?
I don't know. I have one generic lockdown password, and it works most of the time.
What the shit? This is so weird. Okay, all right. Now they're making me verify that I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
Please verify your Twitch account. This is great viewing for all the people that are on the stream.
Yeah, but
right
what
now.
I'm doing is I'm getting a listener for life here. I'm luring your old ass by the hand through Twitch, and you will join back in. Your views will be worth more to me than any of these morons.
Okay.
Plus, we'll have you back, and we'll have you, like, if you want to, we can run contests and get people out to your place. I mean, like, we got this, dude.
Fun.
Yeah, just right, dude. Password is password. You got this.
I'm just bored enough that I'm actually interested in this bullshit right now.
I know. That's why
this is awesome.
That's why I'm seizing this opportunity.
Okay, so how do I search you out? What's the channel name?
Okay, are you ready for the channel name?
Yeah, Corey Adam Comedy or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's always Corey Adam Comedy. I love when people do that to me too. They're like, "What's the name of the channel?" I'm like, Corey Adam Comedy, and they're like, "Isn't that your Instagram?"
Oh.
Yes.
They're like, "Oh, that's clever."
Yeah, it's pretty good, right?
It says no. It says it's not found.
It's there. Corey.
I did it.
Adam, no S.
Adam.
Comedy.
Yep. Oh, there. Now it is.
There you go.
Live.
There you go.
Oh God.
Jump in. Turn down.
I gotta see how.
Turn down the music a little bit because it will backlog. You got a commercial going because you're not a subscriber yet.
Okay. How's that?
Yeah, it's fine. Savage Dragon D said, "Yeah, it'll be worth as much as that jackass that made him channel or chainmail." I got you. Yeah, no, hey, that's good. I like your chainmail.
I'm trying to look at that. How old this picture is? That might be our original flat top. Yeah, I have no idea how old that griddle is, actually. That came with the restaurant, and it was so old when I bought my new one that the company that I bought it from, that I bought my new one from, they refurb stuff and resell it. They said it was so old they couldn't refurbish it. They had to bring it straight to the scrapyard. That's how old it was. So 70s maybe? 80s?
So how old's the new one?
The new one was purchased I think in 2018, so it's 2 years old now.
Is it brand new though?
Yeah, I bought it brand new. But the thing about a flat top is you can season it or you can clean it all the time and still get that good sear. You know, it's more about the heat that you're getting from the griddle than it is all that crap that's built up on it.
Jeffrey Rogers said you should have kept it.
Yeah, I would have if it would have functioned properly.
Well, and with your new expansion, you're gonna need twice the griddle space.
Well, that's the thing. The plan is to move the smoker out into the alley. Then I'm going to get another flat top with an oven and probably a brand new, like, double deep fryer.
I think that was my favorite thing when I came to the place for the first time was just that back setup you have in the alley. Like, just here's a bunch of smokers. Fuck it.
Yeah. So that's where it's going to be going. Well, nothing's out there right now. I mean, everything's in-house, but I have a new smoker on order from a place in Texas. We're going to give a shout-out to Lone Star Grills with a Z.
Oh, shit, with a Z.
They're making us a brand new smoker that I'm going to keep out in the alley. So we're going to be smoking outside the way God intended it to do. Finally.
Now, are you excited? Like, what taste difference does that represent, though? Or is it just fun to do?
It's just... No, it's basically this. I mean, the smoker I'm cooking on now is an upright cabinet smoker with a firebox underneath. It's all vertical.
What does that mean to people that don't get erections on barbecue equipment?
Essentially, I bought the one that I bought that's in the restaurant now because it fits in the restaurant under the hood. It has a small footprint. So with an offset firebox smoker, that's where the firebox is. You know, it's horizontal. It's to the side.
You know, I hear Tom Chilstrom has a firebox.
Oh, God. Yeah. That may be the funniest joke I've ever heard you say.
Well, okay, first off, that's just hurtful. Second off, it was pretty good.
It's not quite as good as the Wendy's bit, but, you know.
Okay. Yeah, well, you know, we all got favorites. It's fine. I'm okay with that.
That's a classic.
Look, man, I'm just hitting at that low-hanging fruit, baby.
So when do we move on to the Trump material?
We can go whenever you want. I just think it's like it's funny because barbecue's not interesting to you, but it's fascinating to everybody else.
Yeah.
Because to you, I'm sure it's just work. How about that? Oh, here's a question that I have, right?
Okay, go ahead.
So, okay, what are you most proud of barbecue-wise? What's your crowning achievement? What's the thing you hang your hat on and say, this is the best thing I've done barbecue-wise?
Well, I'm pretty proud of the fact that we did a pre-sold Valentine's Day dinner. We did a smoked prime rib dinner.
Yum.
On Valentine's Day, we sold 2 separate seatings of about 20 people each. So 40 people total. And I was really proud of that because I've been wanting to do a smoke. I love prime rib. I love meat. I love steak.
Prime rib is so good. Pete does not get its due respect.
It doesn't. You know, and I'll cap this off with my ultimate, like, dream. I love barbecue, but my dream is to have, like, an old school prime rib house where they, like, carve it table side.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Like Lindy's. Lindy's still does that.
It's like that. Although they don't have prime rib. That's like
no, there's just like it's like a sirloin or something, but they slice it at the table.
Yeah, it's a prime top sirloin.
So fucking good.
It's really good. But there's a place in San Francisco that's just called the House of Prime Rib. And it's been there since, I don't know, the 30s or the 40s or 50s or some shit, who knows. And I started following them on Instagram, and I swear to God, man, it's the worst food porn I've ever seen.
What is it? Wait, what is it on Instagram? I'm going there right now.
The House of Prime Rib.
Okay.
And it's in San Fran. I went to San Francisco once about 12 or 13 years ago. If I would have known about this place, it would have been my #1 destination. But they do these huge slabs of like bone-in. They do bone-in prime rib.
Okay, first off, that's fucking Flintstones level awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy,
Matt Doima
man.
wants to know if you guys have burnt ends.
We do not do burnt ends. We use...
Why? What do you got against burnt ends?
I don't have anything against it. It's just we don't have enough briskets to... Burnt ends is so inside baseball. It's hard to explain, but
like they wouldn't sell enough that they're worth more the other way.
Well, it's more that it's another process. It's like once the brisket is done, you cut off the top portion of what they call the point. There's the point and there's the flat. The flat is the part that's the solid chunk of meat with the fat cap on top. The point is two different grains of meat. The top part of the point, the grain runs in the opposite direction than the rest of it underneath. So you have to cut it off, and I turn it, and then you have to cut it against the grain always. You cannot, if you slice brisket with the grain, it's chewy, it's weird. So you have to cut it across the grain. And to make burnt ends, you take that top fatty, it's like 50% meat and 50% fat, and it's perfectly marbled. It's almost like a weave, like a checkerboard of meat and fat. You cube that, re-season it, and put it back on the smoker.
Crazy.
So you render all the fat out and turn what's, normal fatty brisket meat into like a crispy brisket cube. And if I cooked more briskets every day, I could do that. But I don't. We just don't have the capacity. So I slice the whole brisket for sandwiches and for platters.
You talk about your capacity. Do you have days where you run out of meat?
We definitely do now. On the weekends, we try and stock up for Saturday, which is the busiest day of the week.
Okay.
And we try to have enough, but we can and will run out on a Saturday if it's busy enough. So when we do our brunch, we do our full menu on Sunday for our brunch. We have our breakfast stuff and the barbecue menu. If you come in on a Sunday that's after a busy Saturday, we might be out of ribs, might be out of brisket. There's usually some pork left.
Making you wet says, I'm about to cream. This guy talks a good game.
Well, to say I live it and breathe it every day, all day, 8 days a week, whatever, it is. It's all consuming. And I'm talking a lot because I don't get out much these days like most people. And even when I was able to get out, I live in this restaurant. So I don't have friends. I just have regular customers.
Yeah, but I think that always happens if you're taking your business seriously, especially a restaurant. I mean, think of how many man hours it takes to do your job. Even like you and your wife combined are probably doing the job of 4 people.
Yeah, I'm here right now.
Yeah.
Tending to the barbecue, and I'll be here again tomorrow. I just hired someone to take over my daytime cooking duties so I can focus on being project manager for the expansion and deal with the contractors and the city and, God, the health department, who knows.
Sister Mine wants to know, how long ahead can we pre-order food?
You can pre-order pretty much as far ahead as you want. For the day for lunch, we typically start answering the phone around 10:30. Don't hit us up on Facebook because we do not take orders through our Facebook page. That's pretty much strictly for catering inquiries and stuff like that. So call the restaurant 10:30 every morning or whatever for lunch, and by 11 o'clock we start serving. And then people call in their dinner orders early. This is how I know we're going to have a busy day. If I get my dinner orders almost filled before lunch is over, we're going to have a slamming day. And we've had a lot of days like that.
All right. Matt Doima wants to know how many times someone has mistaken the smoke ring for undercooked meat.
Several.
I like how angry you got about that. Several.
Well, it's only fresh in my mind because right before the shutdown, I was cooking on a weekday night for some reason, which I normally don't do.
Oh shit!
And I had a couple that wanted to return wanted me to cook the ribs more because they were undercooked. And these were perfect St. Louis cut dry rub spare ribs.
What do those look like? What is perfect to you? Like, what is that? And again, I'm not saying for me. I'm just saying I think there's a lot of people that don't know a lot about barbecue that are listening that really like it sounds good. What's the difference between? I know we hear terms like St. Louis, Nashville, like Texas. I won't say Charlotte because Charlotte barbecue is absolutely disgusting.
Well, St. Louis cut is that's just a cut of the spare ribs.
Okay.
People like to order rib tips. And rib tips are what they call the brisket portion of a full spare rib. They trim it to that nice rectangular shape. That nice rectangular shaped rib, that's called a St. Louis cut. So the rib tips have been taken off, and that's how you get a St. Louis cut, and then someone can order rib tips. But I don't make rib tips. I only use these St. Louis cut ribs, so I don't have that extra meat on there. But when you smoke the ribs, just like anything when you're doing it the right way, you should get a smoke ring. You should get that pink smoke ring. And with ribs, if you get them smoky enough, you do it the right way, you can pretty much penetrate the entire depth of the meat with that pink. And people that don't know shit about barbecue, it freaks them out. I do a lot of events too, local events, where I do sausage or brats, and I'll smoke the brats or the Polishes on the smoker, and you get the pink in the sausage, and you get usually an older person, and this isn't done, and I'm like, Grandma, that's the smoke ring. These things are already cooked. It's fine. In fact, that's where all the delicious flavor is, right there. It's in that pink part.
Yeah, I mean,
and what it is.
But it sounds like this is something that really makes you angry. Like you've had to deal with it more than once.
Well, I have, and it gets frustrating because people they just don't know, and it's like, do you really?
It's like
think
asking a comic to tell you a joke.
Yeah. Hey man, when are you gonna start telling jokes?
Shut up.
Thanks. And I go, look at your meat. If this was undercooked, take that little chunk of rib and squeeze it. If that was pink, blood would be coming up. Do you see any blood?
Well, it's like at some point it gets mad because like you clearly know more than they do, you know? Like that's the thing is like they're arguing with you, but you're the guy that has the fucking paperwork on the wall that says you're supposed to be there cooking meat.
Right. Yeah, it's a little frustrating, but they ate part of them and they boxed up the rest and they brought it home. I hope they didn't nuke the shit out of it. Although I'm sure they did.
Matt Doima says like St. Louis has nothing to do with the city.
Yeah, it doesn't really have anything to do with the city. It's the cut of the rib itself.
Yeah. Matt Doima also said, I worked for Famous Dave's for 6 years. People used to bitch about brisket that was smoked for 12 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny. People don't really... Hey, Arby's smokes theirs for 13. I'll have you know.
Is that real?
Arby's doesn't actually smoke anything at Arby's. They're buying some kind of smoked brisket made somewhere else. For sure. They may get it. So they probably get it cooked, refrigerated, and they slice it on their big Arby's like meat slicer.
Sure.
I don't know. I've never eaten it. I only get one.
You've never eaten it. Shut the fuck up.
No, I love Arby's. I've never had the brisket. I get one or two things when I go to Arby's.
Hot
I get
ham
the
and
fucking
cheese.
No, I get the half-pound roast beef sandwich, just straight up classic roast beef sandwich, but the half-pound, which used to be called the fucking Big Montana.
Yeah, that's what I always used to get. I used to get the Big Montana. Now I have to order the double with cheese sauce.
I get that, or I get one of the chicken sandwiches, because before all the fucking chicken sandwich wars started, Arby's always had a legit chicken sandwich. in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say that they're all right. I would say that they're probably third now. I mean, I would still put Chick-fil-A and Wendy's above them, but
Oh, for sure. That Wendy's, I think the Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich.
I mean, I've completely turned around because I live a block away from a Chick-fil-A, and you will never get me to say anything bad about their spicy deluxe. That thing is beautiful.
I really got mad at them a year ago because they got rid of the spicy chicken biscuit for breakfast.
Yeah. Those things were dope.
I'm kind of still mad at them about that.
Okay. I like how you can just let something go, you know?
Well, you know, I could be angry about it, but hey, maybe some rapper will tweet about it and they'll bring it back like the spicy nuggets at Wendy's.
Yeah. Jeffrey Rogers says, Famous Dave's brisket is trash. I worked at Arby's for 5 years. They cook nothing on site. Mikey Two Milk says, whoa, doxing Arby's over here. What's my name? Sandy says, I've never had a chicken sandwich at Arby's. Now I'll have to try that. No, don't do that. Try Jelly Bean and Julia barbecue instead. What are you doing, you foolish Twitch listeners? Audrey Lane, Minneapolis says Arby's chicken sandwich is better than Wendy's. Ooh, so check it out. I can neither confirm nor deny that. I don't think, honestly, as I think about it, I don't think I've ever had a chicken sandwich from Arby's now. I think I had one way back in the day, but I mean, we're probably talking 20, because when I go to Arby's, it's for the roast beef, because that's what, like, I just get a hankering for roast beef and curly fries.
Oh, you go curly fries?
Oh, I love curly fries, baby.
Dude, I go old school and get the potato cake.
Oh, well, we got ourselves a fucking badass, don't we?
I'm so old. Hold on. I'm so old. I'll tell you this. I remember a time when all fucking Arby's had was roast beef, potato cake, and coleslaw.
Oh, I remember
that. Arby's coleslaw was the shit.
Disagree.
I
hate coleslaw.
Don't make it anymore.
Oh, yeah? I'm so old. I remember when Wendy's used to have a sit-down salad bar. What up, bitch?
Yes. Yeah, Wendy's was... Don't get me going on Wendy's. It was my first job.
Oh, shit.
I could go deep state Wendy's with you if you want.
Okay, so here's what I want. No, here's what I want, Corey. Here's what I want. I definitely want you to do that, but I want to do it at a later day because we're already coming up on time here. So I'm gonna have you back on, but we're gonna do like a just straight up doxing of Wendy's. I want to get the dirt, man. I have one more question that I want to know before you go. Okay. So we talked a little bit about your favorite thing that you've made, right? Now, culinary art has to mimic all other arts. Is there something right now with barbecue that's holding your interest and your ambition, like something you're just really excited to try that you never have, or something you're trying to master that you've done a couple times and feel like you can do? Like, there's always like one obsession usually when it comes to art. Like, is there a dish in your mind right now that like you're just trying to fucking go out there and nail?
Yeah, I really want to do this prime rib thing that we did. I want to do that as a regular thing. I want to make not necessarily bringing it onto the menu, but making it a regular occurrence. You know, like every other Saturday is going to be fucking prime rib night or something along those lines.
I love it. I mean, one of the things I love is, so I live over in Hopkins, and there used to be another place here called Lindy's, which is not in relation to the one that's the steakhouse. It was just a little dive bar. And they would do prime ribs on Friday and Wednesdays, and it was like the best prime rib you'd ever have. And that's super interesting, the way that like that's such a like thing. So when is your goal to get it on the menu at least on a weekly basis? Well,
it's funny because, you know, we trialed it in mid-February, and that's right at the time when we had this big boom in business. So we were just focusing on, you know, handling the customer load before the shutdown happened. But there was a guy that I met years ago when I first started. I did one barbecue competition when I was less than a year into doing this shit. And this guy had a small restaurant in some little town down by St. Peter called Mapleton, Minnesota. It's like a blip on the map.
Everybody said Anoka in chat room.
And this guy did a prime rib dinner like every other Saturday, and it was a huge hit. I've always kind of been inspired by that guy to do it. And hoping once we get the expansion done and all this stuff figured out, we can do it, you know. And I might even do it sort of how like a Texas Roadhouse does it.
Fuck yeah.
Where, you know, they have it on the menu, but when it runs out, it's just gone.
I love that.
I
I think people miss out on the sales gimmick that can be like exclusiveness. You know what I mean? Like when you're at a place and you know that they're gonna run out and you get a portion and somebody else doesn't, you feel like a fucking king.
Yeah. I'll close with this. We get a lot of online reviews. It's probably the most nerve-wracking thing is when you get an online review, right, through Google. And they have a feature now where you can reply back. Someone has a review, maybe it's iffy or whatever, they have a gripe, you can reply back, you can respond. I got this kind of 3-star review from a guy that said, the food at this place is great, but they always run out. And the owner's really quick with a response, and he never has an answer as to why they run out of food. So I replied and I said, I don't know if you know anything about barbecue, but it takes, 12 to 16 hours to turn around briskets and pulled pork. Ribs takes about 6. I run out of ribs on a Tuesday. I can go get more ribs Tuesday night and have them ready on Wednesday for lunch.
Yeah, but it's not something you can get ready the next day.
Right. So I basically explained to him, barbecue is a finite resource. It's not like a steak or a burger. I just can't reach into my fridge, grab out a raw brisket, and then in 10 minutes have it done.
Well, maybe you could if you weren't so against smoke pellets, you prick.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I could have 12 pellet smokers in the back just going at all times. But I just kind of explained to him, hey, man, it's finite. And we can only anticipate so much business. And then if we get lucky and it goes beyond that, we run out. We even have it on the front page of our website. We have it on the sign on our front door. It says, we occasionally will run out of barbecue. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Well, but I feel like anybody that knows barbecue or likes barbecue, you know that they can run out. I've gone to small barbecue places across the country, and sometimes you just walk in and they're like, oh yeah, we're out of this, hot links for today or something. Like that shit just happens.
Well, I'll tell you this. My favorite place for barbecue is Central Texas.
Yeah, Lockhart, dude. Smitty's in Lockhart is the best I've ever had in my life.
Yep, Smitty's, Black's, and Kreitz, which is
Black's, dude. Black's is so fucking good. And like the ones in Austin, but I mean Smitty's in Lockhart, I drove outside of Austin for it. It is the best barbecue I've ever had in my fucking life.
Absolutely. That is the town. And when you drive from Austin to San Antonio, here's the thing. When you're in Austin, you're 90 minutes from San Antonio. You might as well drive to see the fucking Alamo, okay? You're a goddamn red-blooded American. Drive the 90 minutes, and halfway through that drive, you stop in Lockhart. You get some of the best barbecue in all of Texas.
Who knew the barbecue guy would be such a patriot? All right. Well, hey, I got to go. I do have other people in the queue. Thank you so much for calling and talking with us. We'll do it again. One more time, just give out a plug. Let people know where they can find your barbecue.
You can find us at 530 West Main Street, jellybeanandjulias.com, or on Facebook and Instagram, jellybeanandjulias. Come check it out. I'm usually here.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Corey. Thanks for calling in, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, man. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll talk to you again. I love you, buddy. Stay safe.
All right, peace out.
All right, buddy. Bye. That is Corey Swap, one of my favorite guys on the planet. We got our next guest. We're just kind of backlogged because we wasted a little bit more time with the ooh, there we go. I'm using that picture. Yeah, wasted a little bit more time than I thought we would on the barbecue, but I should have known. Yeah, go to Julia and Jelly Bean. It's one of my favorites. I'm going to actually, here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the .com in here one more time for anybody that can. Boom. Let's see here. Oh, Sith Lord Smoke. Yeah, Sith Lord Smoke, contact him. Sith Lord, follow my channel and subscribe so you get notified. We do this every Friday through Tuesday. All right. Our next guest, we're just going to wing through this because, again, we wasted way too much time on barbecue, which I am okay with. We are going to check in. Where the fuck is that? There it goes. We're going to X that out, bring that up, click on here. There it goes.
Hello, sir.
What up, guy? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Real good. Identify yourself to the watchers or listeners or whatever.
Oh yeah, love that picture. That was my first profile picture on Facebook back in 2007, maybe?
Was it really?
Yeah. Oh God, such a young lad. No gray. Hey, I'm Ryan Waterbury. I suppose you could call me a libertarian activist and web developer and digital marketer by day. So.
Yeah, I guess you could I would call you a libertarian activist. You're one of my favorite people to discuss politics with. Cause you ain't
Awesome.
Cause you ain't crazy. How you been, man? Like, how crazy is it, right? Like, shit's been kind of crazy lately.
Oh, it's been really crazy. I mean, it's been pretty nerve-wracking for people for a lot of people, and especially for libertarian and freedom-loving people. And one of the
Which is weird because you think that would be everybody. Everybody should love their freedom.
you would think so, but part of the problem with that is right now you have the federal government giving people receiving unemployment an additional $600 on top of whatever amount that they're receiving from their state unemployment insurance funding. So there are a lot of people who are happy as clams because they're being bought off to sit at home and do nothing.
Well, there's a lot of people that are making substantially more money at home than they ever did working.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of these businesses that they work for, I mean, I work with a lot of small businesses, and I have a lot of colleagues around the nation that are web developers and marketers for small businesses. And, I'm hearing that particularly in the restaurant industry, that 75% of their restaurant clientele for web designers that maintain their presence have been told for sure that if this goes on any longer, that they're not going to open their restaurant, period.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of places that don't open up again. You and I have been saying that.
Oh, yeah. And it's, you start looking at the numbers, and I'm fortunate to know a lot of good analysts and mathematicians that have really broken some things down. And the cure is really turning out to be worse than the disease. I've been looking at nightly reports of, not infected or deaths in that percentage, but deaths per capita. And Italy is at 0.044% total nationwide. And when you start looking at it in that capacity, any death is just a travesty. We can all agree to that. But
well, I mean, I don't know. Unless they're my enemies, then they deserve to go.
But those numbers are never the numbers that you see in the mainstream news. And when you start seeing that 0.04% of people that in a nation that's just been devastated, and I'm picking on the one that was most televised for being overrun with the disease, 0.04% of the population was terminal. And out of that percentage, over 80% had an underlying condition, and the median age was, I think, 82. So the same statistics and demographics are those that, if a really nasty flu season came through, would be the same hit.
Sure.
So there's no focus on protecting any of these vulnerable demographics, and we're all sitting here being told to stay home and not work, there's that large portion of the nation that's self-employed that's getting zero money. I think I just recently shared an article where in the 3 weeks from the first closures to the stimulus coming down, the wealthiest Americans increased their wealth by 282 billion. That's a travesty. Oh shit! And that those that's a direct result of, I don't want to say too many good things about the Don because, let's face it, he's kind of a shit show up there. But when he said,
he is the shit show.
I want cash in Americans' hands. Great. Write a bill that says direct relief, one-time stimulus payment, but we get this abomination of a bill that transfers wealth to all of the politically connected donors.
Right. It did nothing. And for everybody that needed that money, it becomes like a reimbursement of taxes you owe going forward, so it's not even our money. It's like them tacking interest on the money they're already going to take from us.
Exactly. Yeah. And, it's...
And like you said, a lot of the people were already on state unemployment, so... I mean, I don't want to ever say nobody, like, I don't like saying people didn't need the money, but there definitely are people staying at home making double what they made to do nothing. And that kind of incentivizing nothingness, like, that's not going to be a good mentality going forward, because then how many of those people, when shit does get up and running again, are going to be like, no, I'm just going to stay home? I bet it's a lot more than people think.
Oh, it's going to be a lot more. And, we're looking at within the next week, unemployment numbers, reaching what the Great Depression numbers were. I mean, we're looking at, by the end of the reporting period this week, 24%, which is terrible. And I think the ultimate number is going to be higher than the Great Depression. And
yeah, it'd probably have to be.
Eventually, that money is going to run out. State unemployment, because the Fed blew their load early with this extra $600 bucks on top.
They didn't even have enough to give small businesses.
No, and that's the other thing. The lending was done on a preferential basis. So the ones that had the biggest ties with the banks were approved right away for the largest amount of the money because, hey, they qualified technically.
Well, and not to mention all the bullshit that went into the attitude of, well, you can't shop at Ace Hardware locally, but you can go to a Home Depot. Or you can't have this local grocery store open, but Cub can be. They definitely picked favorites throughout this whole fucking ordeal.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Demolition Man when it's a joke where, hey, no TP, 3 seashells, and all restaurants are Taco Bell. We're getting close to that.
Well, I mean, just think of how the 3 seashell system might have actually helped. Like, there's no toilet paper. The seashells, I mean, I assume the seashells were everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, the whole toilet paper thing, I've been in printing for a long time and understand paper mills who manufacture, book paper, business card paper, but they also manufacture the toilet paper. And the fact of the matter is, that's all on demand because it's a quick run. And I mean, it's junk paper. It's basically what you're wiping your ass with.
Yeah. It's like the pulp. It's like it's like recycled paper that they don't have to all the way recycle.
Yep, exactly. And everybody was shitting at work. So guess what? Nobody's at work. It's not that people were hoarding toilet paper. They just didn't buy it because they never shit at home.
Jeffrey Rogers says, do you think forced unemployment spike, do you think the forced unemployment spike is a leftist agenda to upset or unseat Donald Trump?
I don't know if that's necessarily, I'm sure there are some agendas there, but, I think, if we want to talk about
I think the Dems would have worked harder with a president they liked, and I think that's as far as it goes. I think that there's some extra, like toe dragging just to bog down the system, and that's directly because Donald Trump's in office.
Oh, absolutely. And, I think dragging this out a little bit longer keeps your eyes off of Joe Biden. And,
It doesn't matter though, man. All those fucking hypocrites are just into swallowing that pill now. I mean, I had another conversation with a buddy of mine that was super Bernie Sanders during the first election, and one of the biggest things he did was basically come at every single Trump voter, telling them how unacceptable it was because of his sexual behavior. And now that dude is absolutely drinking blue and pulling for Biden. That is happening.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Sith Lord Smoke says, never waste a crisis.
That's absolutely true. I mean, and
he's also the smoke guy. That's the guy that owns the barbecue place. He's in chat right now.
Yeah, I mean, the wealth transfer that I talked about, almost the 300 billion. Yeah, I mean, never waste a crisis. And not only with, the stimulus bill that robbed the American people and, widened that gap, for the 1%, to use some Bernie terminology.
Yeah.
But, you have small business owners like myself. I don't have a payroll. I have contract employees when I do for specific projects. And I've talked to a number of other people that are like me that are either single owner business owners with no employees or a few. We don't get or don't qualify for a lot of these PPP loans because we're not set up that way. And there are a lot of people that are running businesses like that.
Well, it's it's weird because like small businesses, and maybe I'm just naive, but I would think on paper, your smaller businesses need that money more than the individuals because a lot of these individuals are already on unemployment. And then the moment they get around to these small businesses, I mean, and it's something that's close to my heart because one of my rooms is run by Sisyphus Brewing, and that's a small business owner, And the stuff that they've done to go out of their way to kind of prevent small businesses, it's really interesting because it really showcases who the favorites are under the current system with all the legislation and shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's really widened the gap between, your average person that has a choice. You can either take the risk to be a small business owner, and it's a huge risk. And hey, Sith Lord Smoke, I mean, I loved your segment. I love barbecue.
Good.
The restaurant industry, I mean, I work with, some people out there that run restaurants for marketing. And I mean, I know what the margins are. They're razor thin. So
they're nothing. I mean, I worked at an Italian restaurant for years and years of my life, and they were cutting a profit, but they weren't. I mean, everybody there, they own the land and they own their house and stuff. But I mean, these are business owners that are owning, like in Vecchio's case, like they were on a property that was worth millions of dollars, and they were all taking home probably right around $40K.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you own the land and the building, you have a nice asset, but it doesn't do anything to pay your bills with.
Right. And that's the thing. They own the land and the building was paid off, but like that doesn't help them keep the doors open, pay for electricity, and especially with food, because you're talking about a perishable commodity. So now you have to re-up. You have to, like he was talking about earlier with the brisket, sometimes you just run out. Nothing you can do.
Well, and that's the reality that people are running into, that, the Fed's been printing money and everybody's all happy. And the people that want to keep the doors closed and stay home because that's what the government's telling me to do are getting a bribe, basically, through their unemployment and the extra Fed kick.
All right, here, hold on. We got some comments that I want you to field. You ready?
Yeah.
Crypto Trucker says, how is this not a wake-up call to all Americans about the corruptions?
I made a few comments before we had the complete lockdown and pointed out that some of the economics committees that sold stock ahead of the market crash, I guarantee you that every one of those on the left and right, both on the red and the blue team, every one of those individuals and the people that they let know about, their donors, they're going to get reelected. People just don't understand that if you continue down this path, that you're going to get the same crap, and it's going to get worse.
Oh, it has gotten worse. I mean, the time to change was when Clinton was in office, and it's gotten progressively worse. I mean, look at all the executive overreach that George W. entered in with the Patriot Act, that Obama re-signed, that Trump re-signed, and it just gets more and more encompassing every time they do it because they're adding stuff on every time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Like they're
I don't know how
piggybacking the
many-
piggyback bills every time they resign it.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you look at the people on the left, they didn't give a shit because Obama was calling the shots, but now it's the end of the world because the president has too much power. Well, both sides keep giving the president power when their guy's in power.
Yeah, and that gets to the point where the people that were calling Trump in 2016 literally Hitler, and is it okay to punch a Nazi? Um, the people that are aligning on that blue team, those are the states that have the harshest laws and keep extending these stay-at-home orders and are nearing fascism. If
I would say they're at
you
fascism.
know.
I wouldn't say nearing.
I'm trying to be polite, but
You can call it how you see it. Like, this is a libertarian show. I'm into it. I don't care. I got the fucking, you see the "Don't Tread on Me" flag behind me. I don't give a fuck.
I think when I made that comment, when you talked about that today on your Facebook thread, is when you're like, hey, you want to come on the show? And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'll be blatantly honest that they keep moving the goalpost and keeping people home, keeping people out of work, getting them more used to being on the government dole. So you've got people that are on this temporary government program, and I always say there's nothing more permanent than a temporary government program. So as far as a wake-up call, I think there are a lot more people that are getting angry, but
I don't
they're
think that
still gonna-
matters because we're not hungry, though. We need to be hungry to revolt, and that's just not going to happen here.
Yeah, and I mean, as nice as it would be to really have a breakout year for third party,
It's not
here's
gonna
the
happen.
rub.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. And in a lot of states, Minnesota is not bad as far as getting ballot access. But here's the rub. You still have to get signatures in a pretty short window for state races.
Right, and guess who's not going to be able to get the signatures? Most third parties.
Right, because nobody wants to answer the door.
Right.
They're not going to be in public places. They're going to be social distancing and
I
staying
didn't
away
even
from
think
you.
about that, like how much harder it's going to be to get on the ballot right now. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and there have been calls that said this is just outrageous and unfair. I think it's been acknowledged by the SOS, Steve Simon. He's been pretty receptive and reasonable, but anything that he takes gets shot down.
Sure.
And it's really going to be a horrible year.
Yeah, well,
after
there's no way there's no way that we hit this imaginary like May 5th thing. And I don't know, you probably haven't been listening, but like I have a whole theory that everybody says I'm wrong, and that's fine. Like, it's complete hypothesis, right? But I'm not convinced that anybody really has seen the first wave of this personally. And I'll tell you why. Most of the cases we had coming in were from people traveling out of state or out of country, right? Mm-hmm. They come in, they can track it, they can track where it's localized, where it's been going, all that stuff, right? But if you look at the map, like the Johns Hopkins map specifically, and I will find it and put it up here. I'll put it right here. If you look at this map, right around New York and Florida, there's this weird little circle bubble that's moving forward. It's just past Chicago now, but the density of the cases just keep going up and up. And my theory is that all of these precursor ones that we have wasn't the wave. When New York became the epicenter of our outbreak, that's where it starts. And now the wave is moving east to west. And so this shit, and I'm not advocating us stay at home or anything, but I mean, like, this shit is about to get real as far as the totals. And now you have some places that are like, I'm not opposed to people going out to work. I mean, I don't know. Like, this would be real harsh, but we probably need less people anyways, right? I mean, that's, like, I'm not advocating anybody, like, put anybody at risk or anything, but if we're waiting this out, like, this might be till 2022. This isn't something that we can just wait out and expect to have a society at the end of it.
So that's the attitude that I run into, and I'm really surprised by some of the people that are in my realm of friends list that they seem to be under the impression that magically we're going to wait long enough and they can go out, nobody's going to get this disease. That is not how Flatten the Curve works. Flatten the Curve was to allow the hospitals to dedicate resources and allocate ICU space in order to handle the wave.
Which
Not
worked
so
because
nobody gets it.
Minnesota has really low ICU admittance right now. Like we have a lot of open beds in the state.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, one of my friends from high school is a physician in coronavirus ER. She's furloughed because there's
Wait,
nothing
what?
happening.
That's
No, she's
fucked up.
furloughed.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, yeah, and so
Oh, here, hold
the
on. Jeffrey had a bunch of business questions that I missed, right? So he
yeah,
said,
no, I was reading that.
why is small business loan a solution? Yay, we're here to help, and now you're in debt. Most small business owners start their business because they want to get out from under strains of a boss. How is the government bank not a boss you answer to? Everyone who knows anything about debt knows federal debt is the worst possible kind. Student loan, taxes. You can't utilize the bankruptcy system to get out from under it. It never goes away. But
No,
if you're
and
a
it
small
doesn't.
business, that's an LCC, and that doesn't come back to you anyways, though, right? So that's kind of a
Yeah,
weird way to go anyways, Jeff. But the main thing is that they needed to take a hit to keep their doors open. And they were one of the biggest demographics that need it. And the time that everybody else got hooked up, your Walmarts, all these stores got hooked up. But when it came time to fucking hand money to Ace Hardware, all of a sudden the money was gone. And that's fucked up.
yeah. I mean, in my web development and digital marketing agency owner group, that's private. There's not a single person that has gotten approved for a loan. Not one.
How many people are in that
And
group?
about 3,500.
Damn. And not one? That seems weird.
Not one. And there was a poll, and I was really kind of hoping that at least somebody might have gotten something. And
Hold on one sec. Jeff said, how does business interruption insurance not foot the bill for payroll? Because that's not what they do. You have to file for that loan. They assume you're getting the loan, so they don't even give you that insurance. I'm telling you, like, if you want to argue about this, that's fine. We're talking about a different topic now. We can circle back, but you really need to do a lot of research because the questions you're asking me tell me that you don't really know what you're talking about. That's all. Sorry. Go ahead, Ryan. My bad.
yeah, and ironically enough, my commercial insurance agent is an agorist, and I'm like, so am I covered on this? He's like, well, technically no, because it's, at some point you might be, but because the government has offered this as an option, this can't kick in because there is technically an available option, even if you'll never get it.
Sure.
So, yeah. No, and that's awesome. So, yeah, Jeff.
He says, I'm a commercial insurance agent. I know what I'm talking about. No, you don't. You're not even asking the right questions. How can you possibly know what you're talking about?
And hey, yeah, Matt, absolutely. I mean, that was bad PR for Ruth's Chris. And
what is that? I don't even know what he's referencing.
so they got called out because national chain, but all their locations have less than 500 employees.
Mm-hmm.
So they qualified for the small business loans, and they took millions out of the fund. And they got called out on it and said, you're a large corporation. Just because your locations each individually are small enough that you qualify for this.
Right. Like your franchises don't get it. Your private owned ones can.
So a lot of the mainstream media at that time said, well, this was, a flaw with the bill. And I'm like, bullshit. That was exactly how the bill was written, so that select businesses that donate to political campaigns could still qualify for funding, and fuck everybody else. This is a huge wealth transfer anytime the government has gotten involved. It's not helping the everyday Americans at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that's always been the thing, and this is what like really drove me into libertarianism. There's not a single job you can name that the private sector doesn't do better, and that's part of the problem with all this. Is that this is why we're running into that, because we're trusting our government to solve a problem with efficiency when the government has a problem with being efficient.
One good thing that I'm actually seeing about this is a lot of complaints from local people where they don't want to open up because they're like, oh, the feds keep stealing our, med resources. And I'm like, are you still for single payer healthcare? Because guess what? That's how this works. Nationwide, they decide where shit goes, and you're just a number. I mean,
Weird. We're all just cogs.
yeah. So and back to your map when you kind of jumping around talked about New York and you compared it to some of the other regions.
Well, I'm just
Uh,
saying, like, for us, the epicenter of what our outbreak is New York. New York is the epicenter of what the numbers are. And especially given all the information we didn't have in the months that we needed to, like February or early March, I mean, it's
oh,
very
right.
safe to assume that these people living on top of each other were going to get the most infected, because it's not a coincidence that the place hit the hardest is also the place where people are stacked on top of each other the most per capita. But as those people have run and integrated with other people, like, that's how this all, because it's all a 3 or 4 week slide. And if you look at the numbers, and again, that John Hopkins thing that I put up there, and it's just a live map of everything. I'll put it up again, and it's just at the John Hopkins University of Medicine. But if you watch, like, they have this weird outbreak epicenter, and it's like watching the weather. It's been a storm front for the last month that's just been growing like an onion blossom. And I believe that all the cases you're seeing in LA, San Francisco, and Seattle were just some kind of precursor to everything, because of the fact that the real outbreak, our real first wave, is going to come from New York. And if that's the case, I mean, there's no way this is done by fall.
But I mean, you look at the population densities, and where, like you said, people are stacked on top of each other. And I used to travel to New York once a week for business, and it is an absolute dirty shithole. And great if you have immunity to tons of other things.
Great if you love living in a fucking shithole.
Excuse
honestly,
me, bitch.
You look at the layout and the demographics and the population per square mile in Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, Iowa. Just the population density isn't there, so the spread will be much slower.
Yeah, well, it would have to be, right?
Just by how people interact. So, if we're flattening our curve right now, and the hardest hit areas are our metropolitan areas and some outlying communities that are denser in population, we're going to have a resurgence and more cases that show up.
Yeah, well, we'd have to. I mean, like, there's no way that we get through this and that's not the case.
Yeah, and there's not going to be a vaccine for this. No. That works, and people keep throwing, and I see a lot of the blue team people throwing out, well, people that opened early in the 1918 pandemic, and I'm like, that was H1N1 that's come back time and time again, and it's never been a problem again. Why? Because people build up residual immunity. Sure. And there was a vaccine for it in 2009, and that was just like the flu vaccine. It was barely 50% effective. So even if they do come up with a vaccine, it's not going to be a 100% shot that you're not going to get it. So the real thing here is just flattening the curve, which we've already done in Minnesota by far.
Yeah,
it's
already happened. And this idea that keeping everybody inside, like you're saying, people are gonna catch this. There's no actions we can do to stop everybody from catching it. And and I wish there was. I do. I wish there was, but it's just there's not.
Well, and you want to minimize and mitigate as much as possible, but you can't stop the spread.
Right.
So protect the most vulnerable. Move back to a social distancing model, open businesses up, including restaurants with dine-in service.
Don't be afraid to look at those numbers and reassess later on. I mean, I think that was kind of my whole problem with the way Walz approached everything, is just like 2-week lockdown, month and a half lockdown. Like, you have to wait for the data to come in and really, like, justify what your stance is, because if you're going ahead with no real data, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I watched a story on the morning news the other day where one of the ER doctors from one of the New York hospitals was like, yeah, and actually, the cases where we thought we would need ventilators, it was maybe 1 in 5. And that even that person we found just by moving their position opened up their lung capacity, and they really didn't need the ventilator. So
Sure.
there's more information, and we're getting better educated about this. That knee-jerk reaction, great. We took a pause. We looked at the data. We know how to treat this better now. That let's move on. And honestly, you look at, like I said, the total population that may have, in an early hard hit area, 0.044% of Italy, where nobody knew how to treat this disease at all, and an elderly population with underlying illnesses.
And smokers, one of the highest per capita smokers in the world.
Absolutely. So that's the worst possible case.
Well, and that was always my problem, and you and I talked about that the last time you were on here. That was always my problem. Nobody had math going either way because China was lying about the numbers. The Koreas weren't coming out with the numbers. Taiwan locked down their border in a way that not a lot of people are, so their numbers weren't applicable. Australia had fires for 8 months. There's no way that doesn't help a respiratory disorder. And then you have Italy, who had all these old smokers, and they're getting caught. It's just a weird place to go to, where then eventually and immediately, and I think you'll agree with me on this, is like immediately what's crazy is to watch the way the political lines have just been drawn on a pandemic. Like, this is like, children dying all over again. When the people that are anti-gun rights basically make it sound like if you want to own a gun, you also want kids to die. And this is a really weird galvanizing moment now where it looks like Republicans want to go outside and it looks like Democrats want everybody to stay inside forever. It's a very weird thing that this tragedy pandemic is being just so clearly politicized one way or the other. Based on no math. Based on math we do not have.
And there is math out there, but the panic that's been incited by the mainstream media and the refusal to administer tests, and that's absolute bullshit that tests aren't available. No, they've been available, and the FDA and state administrations have been sitting on approval for, I think it's almost 70 days now for some of the antibody tests that are being utilized. And that's criminal.
Well, and some of them like are getting reinfected, and that's not being talked about a lot. But like the reinfection rate is going up.
Yeah, I mean that happens with the flu,
right.
And that's just.
But I mean, we're one mutation away from this being real serious, though. Right now, it is serious. I'm not saying it's not, but I mean, like to me, the way that it was publicized to me, anything short of Stephen King's The Stand, and I was surprised.
Yeah.
And it's like when Trump got elected and everybody's like, oh, it's the end of the world, it's this or it's that, but it's just, whatever. Hey, we are actually coming up on time. Before I let you go, though, Kim Jong-un, alive or dead? What do you think?
I think he's dead. I actually wanted to talk about that when you talked about China and the Koreas. Poor health. The guy, really poor health, just out of shape, obese, noticeably sweating when he's walking around, and any videos, and just I really don't think he made it. So that's going to be iffy. I mean,
I think so. I'm with you, kind of. I think he's alive, but I think it's like an iron lung where he's not going to wake up situation.
Yeah, no, I think
that they're waiting. They're waiting till they have all their T's crossed and their I's dotted to make any announcements. But I think he's basically brain dead on a respirator somewhere.
Well,
also, how funny would it be if it was actually coronavirus, given his we'll shoot them stance?
That would be great. Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's probably dead, or like you said, in an iron lung. The problem is, next in line would have been his sister. And I don't.
But how are they going to take having a woman leader in that place?
Well, she doesn't have the political clout to take over.
And the other thing that's crazy is that cousin who's the uncle that he killed. That kid is also the oldest son of the oldest, all the way down lineage wise. But he's been missing for a month and a half.
Yeah, I mean, just the whole. It really gets into the family drama right there, and who is the next in line, and I think they're really the ruling powers behind, that lineage are really deciding on what's going to happen.
Yeah,
because there's not a real strong person to come forward and take over.
I agree with that. All right, I'm going to have to cut you loose. Tell people again where they can get a hold of you or where they should go support you.
Hey, if you want to take a look at my personal page on Twitter at Dr. Waterbury, otherwise at One Dog Solutions is my business page for any web and digital marketing advice.
All right. Also, if you want to send money directly to Ryan, go to Venmo and donate at Corey Adam Comedy. all of that money will not see his hands, but he will feel good about it. I promise you.
I absolutely will feel good about it.
All right, thank you so much for being on here. If you're still logged into the room, I think you might enjoy this next video that I'm about to play because I'm about to do this China Uncovered thing that's super vindicating for me. So thank you so much for being on again, man. You're one of my favorites. I love your mind when we talk politics, and we'll have you on again.
Hey, I appreciate it. Good to be here.
All right, buddy. Later. That was Ryan Waterbury, one of my buddies. Yeah, so here's what I know we play the China Uncovered videos a lot here, but 2 days ago, they came out with one talking about how this coronavirus might have originated, wait for it, in a lab, like I've been fucking saying this entire fucking time. All right, we'll watch this, and then we'll come back, but this is a very vindicating moment for me, because I've been telling you all this was a lab thing from the get-go. Here we fucking go.
The coronavirus pandemic began in a Chinese lab. The U.S. investigates. This is China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. Did the coronavirus begin in a Chinese lab? The ongoing saga of the coronavirus, what I call the CCP virus, has taken a new twist. The U.S. is now investigating the possibility that the virus actually began in a Chinese government laboratory in Wuhan, not in a wet market.
At the start of the outbreak, this is where China directed the world's attention, suggesting that this Wuhan seafood market was the source of the novel coronavirus outbreak. U.S. intelligence officials tell CNN they are investigating another possible source, suggesting the virus may not have originated naturally as China has advertised, but rather that it possibly started in a Wuhan lab.
Okay, it's kind of an old twist. People have been talking about whether the coronavirus came from a lab since the CCP virus outbreak began. And it's often been dismissed as a conspiracy theory. But once in a while, conspiracy theories are true. In other words, they end up being investigative reporting, if you do the investigating part. It's not impossible for a virus to leak from a lab. In fact, small SARS outbreaks after the original one were caused by lab leaks in Beijing. But it's been harder to nail down whether this new coronavirus could have leaked from a lab. President Trump was asked about the Wuhan lab theory at a recent press conference, and Trump displayed his usual art of subtlety.
U.S. intelligence analysts told you that they think that the virus escaped from a Chinese research lab, that it was
Well, I can't tell you that. Have U.S. intelligence agents told me? I mean, what kind of a question is that?
Do you feel
I can't. Do you want me to tell you? Let me tell you what they told me. Look, they told me plenty. They told me plenty.
The lab in Wuhan, called the Wuhan Institute of Virology, obviously denies the accusation. In an interview with Chinese state-run media, the director of the lab said there is absolutely no way that the virus originated from our institute. Incidentally, the director of the lab is also the secretary of the lab's Communist Party committee. And it makes sense that the highest-ranking person in the lab would also head the lab's Communist Party committee. But when was the last time the Chinese Communist Party lied to us about the coronavirus?
Excuse me, bitch!
Anyway, the World Health Organization is backing up China's story, saying the coronavirus came from an animal, not a lab. And when was the last time the WHO lied to us about the coronavirus? Of course, the WHO was wrong, but that's just because they believed the Chinese Communist Party. I see a problem here. Back to the virus. Originally, it was thought to come from this wet market, but apparently there's no evidence the market sold bats or pangolins, the animals from which the virus is thought to have jumped to humans. And the bat species that carries it isn't found within 100 miles of Wuhan. So there...
Okay, so that is a bombshell right there. That is very, very important to all of this. Yeah, pangolins and bats are food, Jeff. That's actually one of the funniest things. Yeah, but the biggest thing here to remember, and this is now on record, is that pangolins and that species of bat were not found specifically at that market anywhere, which means 'tis a cover story, my friends.
There's a potential hole in the wet market theory. And in 2018, U.S. diplomats in China who visited the Wuhan Institute of Virology warned of a serious shortage of appropriately trained technicians and investigators needed to safely operate this high-containment laboratory. And some of the Chinese Communist Party's actions are a bit suspicious. Well, okay, I need to narrow that down. How the party treated this specific lab in Wuhan was suspicious. In January, the Chinese military posted its top epidemiologist to the Wuhan lab. In February, Chinese leader Xi Jinping began talking about biosafety reforms in labs. That's an odd response to a coronavirus that supposedly came from a wet market. And as the US began to investigate the origin of the coronavirus, the Communist Party began to heavily censor academic research about the origin of the virus. I mean, science and public health are always best served when communist officials are looking over scientists' work. Of course, if the coronavirus didn't begin in a lab, the Communist Party could clear its name by having outside scientists come look at the Wuhan lab and set the record straight. But, according to U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, China is not allowing that.
We know that they've not permitted the world scientists to go into that laboratory to evaluate what took place there, what's happening there even as we speak.
And it's no longer just the US investigating if the coronavirus leaked from a lab. The UK is also looking into it. So is Australia. By the way, to make things even more confusing, there's another lab in Wuhan where a coronavirus could have leaked. It's the Wuhan CDC lab, and it's less than half a mile from the wet market. It doesn't get as much attention because it's only a level 2 biosafety lab and not a level 4 lab like the Wuhan Institute of Virology. However, the Wuhan CDC lab was definitely studying bat viruses, as we can see from this Chinese documentary from December 2019. Wow, that was pretty intense. I bet they regret making that documentary. Now, to be clear, the US is not saying the CCP virus was man-made or an engineered biological weapon. Just because one of these labs may have been doing risky experiments on bat coronaviruses does not mean they were trying to make a bioweapon. And obviously, an uncontrollable coronavirus would be the world's stupidest bioweapon. And US officials noted that the intelligence community is also exploring a range of other theories regarding the origination of the virus. So they're not just looking into the lab leak theory. But they are also investigating to see if the virus may have accidentally leaked from a lab, which has a checkered history of safety problems. American embassy officials in Beijing made several visits to the research facility and sent 2 official warnings back to Washington in early 2018 about the lab's inadequate safety measures. This was at a time when researchers were conducting risky studies on coronaviruses from bats.
Yes, you heard that. Their safety standards were found wanting over a period of time when they were conducting risky studies on coronaviruses, specifically from bats.
So what do you get when you combine risky laboratory research with inadequate safety measures? An epidemic that totally came from a wet market. And if you say otherwise, you're a crazy conspiracist. Next, I'll answer a question from a member of the China Uncensored 50 Cent Army. Since YouTube has been hurting us with demonetization, the China Uncensored 50 Cent Army has stepped up. The viewers like you who help us keep up the fight.
I'm going to go ahead and let this go because I think it's important that people support this site. I really like this guy. He has an America Uncovered as well, and it's really solid, and all the stuff that he talks about, you can go back and verify, which is cool. So here, this is his Patreon.
Truthful, uncensored information by supporting China Uncensored through the crowdfunding website Patreon. Today,
that's something that's really interesting to talk about, is how this is. So, all right, let's see. Low contaminated lab, sleight of hand in action, level 2 is the worst level. We got to come up with something 2 fucking years ago. What are you talking about? Oh, pangolins and bats? Who cares? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, guys. Mumble louder? Okay, why don't... You know what? Should I just time you out? Because you're being real annoying tonight, Jeff. I don't know why. Just calm down. Sit the fuck down. You don't want to listen to me mumble? Leave. The door's right there. You're not a fucking captive. Calm the fuck down, bro. Bro, calm the fuck down. I can't help it if I mumble, all right? Leave me alone, motherfucker. What, bitch? Yeah! That got a little dicey. Let's be honest. Where's the other thing I wanted to talk about? Oh, yeah, this. I don't know how many of you saw this. Somebody brought it up to me yesterday in the chat, I think. But just so you guys know, there's literally a bat coin now. I don't know why it's Hawk37, but like, it's a fruit bat. It's going to be on the quarter. Not only is it a bat, but it's the same species of bat that's carrying the coronavirus. That's where... Are you fucking kidding me? That, like... There has to be a point where we as a society go, all right, now I fucking see you. Yeah, you have one of those. It's fucking crazy, right? Commenting. Reading the neurotic. Okay, whatever. Nobody cares. I have one of those. Well, good. I'm glad you also have one of those. Yeah, it's fucking crazy, right? It kind of feels a little too on the nose, like insidery, fucking dancing on the grave baseball type shit, you know? Not a fan. Not a fucking fan. It's really crazy to me. Let's see. What else did I have? Was it this one? No, it wasn't that one. What the fuck was it? Oh, well. Whatever. Let's just move along. We got some fun shit to get to. We still have some phone calls to make and some people to fucking harass. Ooh. Speaking of harassing. Let's make sure that we got that there. That's there. Perfect. Wait for it.
What's up, homie?
What up, dog?
Not much, man.
Were you sleeping?
Trying to.
Jeffrey Rogers keeps trolling the chat room. Can you dress him down a little bit for me?
Why is that?
Just dress him down, man. He's being a bully. Just dress him down.
Dress down Jeffrey Rogers?
Yeah.
Well, why do I need to do that to a guy who probably started going bald when he was 20? Come on, man. I don't know him.
Wait, what? You called out. You said he went bald at 20?
Yeah, why do I need to go off on somebody who probably started going bald at the age of 20, man? I mean, he has more problems than most people. I mean, you know that feeling, right? Of going bald when you're 20?
No, I wish. I wish my hair would have held out to 20. I went bald at like 17 over 3 tear-filled showers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember the story now.
Jeffrey Rogers says, oh, great. Call a crackhead. That will help.
Well, I mean, I'm way more interesting than he is. So
I agree. That's why you're on the phone.
Right.
Did you see?
I don't need to
were you watching or were you sleeping? You're turning in for the night, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of turned it off when you're about done with Corey.
Oh yeah. that China Uncovered thing, they found a bunch of stuff linking back to a lab again. So this coronavirus is most likely a lab, like I said, and got called a racist for saying for like a month ago.
Well, here's the thing with calling anybody a racist when they're just trying to actually pinpoint a source. Race has nothing to do with it, and anybody who called you a racist is also probably, in their own mind, thinking the same thing. They just don't have the wherewithal and the ability to say these things. I mean,
what would you rather have, a kick in the nuts or hang out with Jeffrey Rogers for 2 hours?
Well, I've hung out with Jeffrey Rogers for 2 hours, so I mean, as boring as he may be in person, it's still not worth getting kicked in the testicles.
What if it's like a light pat?
No.
Okay.
No,
Jeffrey says, I have less hair than most racists. Is that him saying that he's a racist? I don't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, that's his way of. Well, I mean, he's not a racist himself because he's just not. But I mean, the way he phrased that is definitely a terrible way of phrasing it.
Right. He just said, thanks, babe.
Is he the only one paying attention right now? Is he the only one that's...
No, a couple people have said some crack things that I've skipped over.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm not trying to get your blood pressure boiling today. Today's a nice relaxing call for you, Tom.
Oh, I appreciate that.
That's why I'm presenting you the low-hanging fruit that is Jeffrey Rogers.
I'd say that'd be the name of his first comedy album, but let's face it, he's never gonna have anything funny enough to put on an album.
Oh shit!
Let's see, what else?
I just gave you the oh shit. Hold on, we're giving the rap. Shots fired.
Yeah.
I like it too because there's a lag, so the last comment of his in here is thanks, babe. So it just kind of looks like he's thanking you for calling him names.
I will say this about Jeffrey though, at least he can take a joke.
Yeah, he's got a good sense of humor. His heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy.
He is a nice guy. You know, it's that whole thing like you used to say to me when I was going to Willie's, like, why would you be so nice and try and do comedy? Same thing with him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, hey,
yes,
I don't really have a whole lot for you, and I feel like the longer you stay, the more aggravated you're going to get, and I want you to just surrender into sweet, inky nothingness. Surrender, Tom. Surrender.
No, that's okay, man. But
is Kim Jong-un alive or dead?
Huh?
Kim Jong-un alive or dead?
Oh, he's dead, man. Because remember how long they had his dad's death covered for a while?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I forgot about that. They covered up his dad's death for a while too.
Yeah, it was like almost like a month and a half that his dad was dead before he actually knew.
Jeffrey says, think ginger thoughts and fall asleep. What does that even mean? Like, I am starting to come around to your side of it on, like, fucking ginger jokes. It's not even that, like, it's taking a joke. It's that they don't make sense and they're not funny.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of times
what the fuck is a ginger thought? Like, oh, man, fucking Problem Child on VHS.
First of all, actually, that was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
Jeff says, I'm also a ginger. You just said you were bald. You can't have it both ways, bro.
Well, yes, you can, because there's a lot of people who think that they're ginger just because they have a red beard or something.
Yeah? Is that a thing you run into a lot? People coming up to you, Tom, specifically and saying, hey, am I a ginger? Can you look at my beard?
No, Andy Matfield had a joke or whatever for a while where he was talking about being a gingered or like half ginger just because his beard is red.
Okay.
I said, you can shave that off. I mean, if I shave my head, I just actually look worse as a human being, so.
It's probably fair.
It is fair. Actually, because my head looks very misshapen.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. The one and only time I actually shaved it, there's actually a mole on the side of my head that makes my head look like a giant tit when it is shaved, so don't need that problem.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Jeff now? He's still going on about the ginger shit.
It's fine. I mean, again, there's gonna be a lot of people who
check out this sweet burn. When I had hair, I was a ginger. Just because terrible DNA took my hair from me doesn't mean I don't have rad, short, and curlies. Red, short, and curlies.
Well, if you're gonna make a comment, why don't you just make sure you spell it right? And he even mentioned earlier that he follows the show on a laptop so he can then write comments quicker. So I mean, rad and red they're separate on the keyboard, man.
No, that was me. I misread it. That was on me.
Oh, well then, that's that Hopkins education for you, baby.
I don't think any of you understand how small this font is and how bright this light is.
Well, actually, like just looking at your when you do have the feed up with the comments, it is pretty easy to see that it's very hard to read when you're there.
It's bigger than that on my, like on the screen. It's bigger than it is on my computer.
Right.
Which makes it even worse.
Right.
Tom, tell him where to get a hold of you, and then get the fuck out of here and go to bed, would you? Jesus Christ. You've been on here for like 10 seconds, and I'm already sick of your bullshit. Figure I better get rid of you before there's more malfunctions, you fucking prick.
Right. By the way, actually, I was gonna since you had Corey Swap on earlier, I was gonna be like, hey, you know what? Why don't like after I'm done with work tomorrow or whatever, why don't I swing by, pick you and Tolver up, and we just go get some fucking takeout from up there.
I don't think anybody's opposed to that. Actually, why don't you, before you give your shout out, give another shout out for Jelly Bean and Julia.
Oh yeah, dude. Something West Main Street in Anoka. If you know where Panuski's board shop is, it's not too far from there. It's like literally like right around the corner.
If you live in the western suburbs, you just go up 169 till it ends, and you're in Anoka, and it's on the left.
Yeah, don't be a prick about it and say, oh, Anoka's so far to get to. It's not that bad. I mean, even people in Minneapolis can get out there pretty fucking quickly. But yeah, it's right off of Main Street. It's not too far from Highway 10 or 169. So if you can't figure out basic town geographies and stuff like that, or if you don't have Google Maps or GPS, well, one, you're probably stupid, and you should get with the 24/7.
One, you're probably stupid. Tom, you don't know how to keep people like on your side. You're like trying to be helpful, and then you're like, one, you're probably stupid.
Well, I mean, if they're so behind the times that they don't know what a GPS is, or that they haven't even been to J&J barbecue, that's their own damn fault.
Mikey Two Milks asks, can I come on with a BBQ adventure?
Sure, why not?
So you've forgiven him for all the crackhead insults he gave you the night before. Your memory is lovingly short, Tom.
Oh shit!
You're like a goldfish that everybody gets to bully.
Oh shit!
Well, I mean, it's not that they get to bully me. Just I will allow certain comments to be made until my tolerance is enough of it, and then I just kind of shut down emotionally and physically.
I want you to know how wrong you are. Right? This is how wrong you are as a person, and how horrible the choices in your life you've made are. Are you ready?
Sure.
Jeff Rogers just put Team Tom for life.
Okay. It's nice to know that somebody cares, I guess. Is that a positive spin on that? I don't know. No, seriously, though, everybody needs to get over to J&J Barbecue.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. And here's the thing. Objectively, even though he's our friend and stuff, like, how fucking good is the food there? Like, objectively, it's real fucking good.
Yeah, every time I have the brisket, it genuinely the first bite just melts in, like, the fat just melts off, everything just melts into your mouth. It's ridiculously good. And then also too, if you do get a chance to get there for breakfast, I actually recommend the waffle or the chicken and waffles, because he has full chicken wings. They are smoked.
Sure.
And it's one of the fucking best things. Or even just getting the waffle with the
ribs.
Well, that, or like just even like the he has like a hash brown, or not a hash, but like it's like a cheesy potato waffle with sausage gravy.
Yeah,
dude,
that shit's so good.
Oh my god.
All
yeah.
Right. Well, tell everybody else. Tell everybody else about you real quick. We're gonna cut you loose.
Find me at Tom Chilstrom on Twitter and Instagram, or tom.chilstrom on Facebook.
All right. Goodbye, Tom.
Goodbye, everybody.
That was Tom Chilstrom. Moving right along into our day-to-day functions and our heart, obviously. Let's see here. What else we got to do? We got to touch all the bases here, right? We still got a Tovar call coming, probably. Let's do that right now. Just get everything out of the way early.
Hello.
Hello.
There he is. What's going on, buddy?
What up, dog?
Well, just playing some GTA, ignoring the world.
Yeah, I figured that. I saw you in the chat room for a while, and then when you dipped out, I'm like, that motherfucker is playing Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, it was all about that Corey, man. I was showing Corey some love. Corey spelled the right way, of course, not like yours.
All right, first off, get fucked. That's not how you spell Corey.
Just want to open up the conversation on a good foot.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. If you open it up with that fucking barbecue place, I am in. I actually had Tom. Tom kind of just broadcast all of his shit about that place. So why don't you give a testimonial for J&J Barbecue right now?
Dude, their corn fritters are like seriously some of the best things I've ever had in my life.
That might be the most exclamation points I've ever seen you put.
Right. Well, it's because they're so. I mean, they're melting in your mouth. Like everything there is so good. Obviously, they're fucking like and like beyond. Like, everyone always has the same adjectives for barbecue, but it's just on point, man. Like, he's covered all of his fucking bases. Like, he's made, like, serious upgrades over the years to make sure that it's, like, the product's always getting better, and, like, he just loves his work, and it shows in the meat.
Mikey Two Milk says, it's Stefan Topher.
Ooh, I've never heard that. Nice burn. 2005 wants its insult back.
2092 called, and they want their wants its joke back.
2092? That's the future, man. I'm ahead of my time.
Yeah, well, time travel's old hat to them. The future's the past there. The past is the future. It's very weird. It's a wormhole thing. You wouldn't understand.
But I'm still ahead of my time, right?
Jeffrey Rogers says, you guys are great. I'm going to go turn in. Enjoy your evening. He was here the entire show till you got here, Tovar.
He'll stay and pick on Tom, but he's got nothing. Oh, shit! He's got nothing.
Shots fired. Do you want to lace yourself some Jeffrey Rogers insult? Go at him. What do you got? Get him.
No, I got nothing. It's a Monday, man. I'm a teddy bears on Monday.
Whatever. You're supposed to have this glorious debate forum starting on Mondays. You got to fucking poke the teddy bear.
Oh, is that what it is? Well, Jeffrey Rogers he's a fucking no hair hack.
See, that's got to be at least 2 more Instagram viewers.
Yeah. Am I doing it right? Am I doing the Instagram right?
I mean, I think so. I think you are. Matt Sonic says, yo. So, yo.
Yo. Is he a new guy? I haven't seen him on the chat before, Matt Sonic.
I think that's Chelsea from back at the Willie's days. Madison or whatever.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm always curious to see, like, some of these nicknames, like the Freak or whatever. These people that pop in, like, I know who they are, but, like, their nicknames they use on the chats are funny.
Yeah, well, it is hilarious the nicknames that people come up with on here, and that's one of my absolute favorite things about Twitch is that probably the nicknames or reminding people watching to go to my Venmo and donate to Corey Adam Comedy. Those are probably 2 of my favorite things about this as a format.
No, playing around with that Nightbot, watching people play around with that is real fun too.
Yeah, I'm going to put in a bunch more stuff. I got like a poll. I got like all this upgrade. Like the thing that sucks is like I can only update it on the weekend. And on the weekend, I don't want to do anything because I've been fucking doing this show for 5 days.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And there's not enough time for me to just do it overnight because then if something fucks up, I don't have a second to fix it.
Well, right. And like you just get done with it and you spend like 3 to 5 hours a day on it and you're just like, well, I don't want to fight. Like,
yeah, I mean, I spend probably 2 or 3 hours a day on it prior to what's on the air.
Right.
Whether that be cold calling or whatever, you know.
But I mean, it's not like you're seeing nothing from it though, too. It's like you're seeing revenue from it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd rather everything go back to normal and I could do stand up for money.
It's never going back to normal. Never going
It might.
Never going. Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about like 2 to 3 years from now, like normal.
I don't even think it's that far off. I mean, I would give you winter of next year.
When do you think we're eating tacos together outside of like Los Ocampos?
Tomorrow, if you want to go. I'm not scared. Let's roll.
Well, you're not scared. I'm not going out yet, man. The numbers are still increasing. Like I don't think, like you had Ryan on earlier, and like I know that we flattened the curve, but we're not over the hill yet.
But it's not about the hill. The hill was never going to get over. It was all about flattening the curve, which we objectively have done.
I mean, we are going to get over. At a certain point, we'll have fewer deaths than more deaths. Like,
I mean, not if you look at the reinfection numbers.
Well, and that's the other reason why I'm not in a big hurry to go out and like this is like what we were talking about earlier, where like everyone right now has got like they made their New Year's resolution to work out, and it's been a month, and they really are done working out, and they're starting to do mental gymnastics to try and talk themselves out of doing the right thing, and I see that a lot.
I don't even think. I mean, like honestly, I don't even think it's mental gymnastics anymore. I think that they've just confirmed whatever it's going to be. You know?
Right, yeah. No, and that's fair. And like I said, I'm not the guy who's going to sit here and condemn anyone's choices.
Hey, man, I still, you know me, I go one day I'm for it, one day I'm against it, but all of my theorizing is done behind closed doors inside.
I'm not ready to go out yet. Like I said, I'll be more comfortable. I'll be more ready to join society once we're on the backside of that curve. You know?
See, and I am actually the exact opposite because I think it's going to get way worse before it gets better. Like I told you my whole theory about the outbreak, right?
But that's all the more reason to stay inside.
No, it's not. It's all the more reason to go outside right now before it actually hits.
I mean, that's fair, but it's starting to get to the point where it's like it's everywhere.
But my theory, and this is what I've held, right, is that I think that what we witnessed is probably not even the first curve, like the first point.
No, we're not done with the first wave.
No. Hear me out. You're right, and we're going to agree on this, but hear me out, right? It's not that we're not done with the first wave. It's that we haven't even gone through the first wave yet.
Yeah.
And I'll show you like what I'm talking about. It's like that John Hopkins thing that I put up a month ago when we were talking about it, right?
Uh-huh.
So all the cases we had when it first happened were collateral from people traveling coming back, right?
Right.
When America started getting it, the epicenter of the outbreak was New York City. Right?
Yes.
Now, if you watch that, it's slowly going east to west in like this arc. And right now it's at Chicago, Detroit, St. Louis. It's even gone down to Dallas. And it's pushing west. So everything we've experienced, everything that everybody has experienced up till now is not even part of the first wave, is my theory.
Well, and what you're seeing is the wave going across America. What you're seeing real time is that wave go from east to west.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And what I've talked about before with you is like you haven't really seen the influx of all these small town hospitals in America getting overrun yet, and that's like a month or two away still.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and then the other thing, and again, this is where, Denver's huge right now. Yeah, they're going through it.
Yep. Well, and that's what you're going to see a connect the dots thing. Like it's going to leap into the major metropolitan areas and then fan out from there. But generally, you're seeing it move from east to west.
Yeah, I mean, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, St. Cloud is about to get rocked. Yeah, you're not wrong. Like, that's the thing. Is like a lot of these places, and if you're in Minnesota and you're outside of Hennepin, Anoka, or Dakota County, this hasn't really been a big thing. I mean, like, I understand why people, especially in our state, are clamoring to get back out there. I mean, like, the numbers are fucking insane. Like, because we have, okay, look, I'll bring it right up.
If anything, I think we sheltered maybe too early, but who knows?
Yes.
But who knows?
But so, okay, so for Minnesota, right?
Yes.
Like, where is it?
I think the smart thing to do would have been to lock down the Twin Cities, try and lock down traffic.
So, okay, so Minnesota, right? We have 286 deaths total, right?
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think that, like, a little bit ago we had, like,
but
100.
As of yesterday, we're a death an hour right now in Minnesota.
Correct. But the thing to remember is when you break that down by county, almost none of it is outside of the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
And so I don't blame people in St. Cloud or in St. Louis County being like, what the fuck, dude? Because, like, now they're getting locked down, told to shelter in place. I mean, like, meanwhile, their outbreak hasn't even hit. And like you're saying, people are already over it. In Hennepin County alone, right?
Yeah.
Like we have 188 deaths.
Yes, that's the majority of the death is here in
Right.
Minneapolis proper. Yeah, no, I know that. Yeah, I know. Well, and here's the thing: the rest of Minnesota is about a month to a month and a half behind the Twin Cities. And if you could have responsibly locked down the cities and kept the rest of the state open, like absolutely, I think that would have been the smart thing to do. But like doing that in concept and doing that in like functionality, are like that would be crazy to try and limit or restrict the movement of people in the cities that much to keep the rest of the state safe. That'd have been an insane job to undertake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was looking at the numbers. Like, it's crazy how much it just is us in the Twin Cities, and now all these people that you have shelter in place. I mean, you've had the entire state of Minnesota locked down, and from a statistical standpoint, if you're not in the Twin Cities, you getting this thing was an outlier. And what happens now is that nobody's gonna fucking trust anybody going forward because, like you and I have talked about, there's no math, and they're presenting it like all this math is exactly because again, I said from the beginning, I thought it was created in a lab. Everybody's like, no, every scientist say that, and now they're coming back around. And I said, this is the epicenter, and this looks like what it's sweeping. They're like, no, wave one's already over this and that, but the numbers don't indicate that.
Yeah. No, we were saying that the whole time. Like,
correct, yeah.
We were pretty steadfast in that. No, and the other thing that I really pay attention to is the spread of this in the counties going forward, because my mom, of all people, sends me the map every morning when I wake up. And I get to see literally over the last 2 weeks, it's like a color your own picture thing with Minnesota.
Yeah.
Only eventually every county goes red, you know. But I think as of today, as of Monday, there are only 5 Minnesota counties that don't have a case now. 2 weeks ago, it was like half the.
Well, I mean, even last week, the deaths were under 100, and now they're over almost 300.
Well, now we're 1 an hour. Soon, you know, in a week or two, we'll be at like 2 an hour. You know, it'll keep going up. No, that's what I'm saying. Like I'll be willing to, and I have food and everything here to hold fast until that happens too. Like, and that's another reason why I'm not worried, is because I knew that this was going to be a longer game than a lot of other people anticipated.
Well, I think being careful is fine, but I mean, I don't think like being prepared is going to matter, because if shit goes way south, you're talking electric and water are gone, and then it becomes a completely different ballgame.
Yeah, but I know how to make both of those.
You know how to make water?
Yeah, we live in a land of 10,000 lakes. It's not that fucking hard.
All right, look, there's not really 10,000 lakes. That's just more of a marketing scheme. Technically, Wisconsin has more lakes per capita. It's no big deal. It's just a thing people like to throw around.
It's like more lakes per capita, but we still have like 12,500 lakes. Like, we underestimate. Like, we're so proud of our lakes that we short sold even that.
With just a lot of ponds being called lakes. That's all I'm saying.
You can still drink out of a pond, Corey.
Depends on the pond. I'll show you a couple ponds. You go right up and fucking drink out of them, you cock sponge. Fucking get up there. Yummy on down it, you asshole.
Just because you live next to Minnehaha doesn't mean I got to drink that fucking nasty-ass water.
I wish I had Minnehaha water right now.
No shit. I've been so I boil my water and then I filter it through coffee filters right now.
I woke up today and the water was orange for about 20 minutes. I just had to keep running it.
Oh, that's not.
And that's happened on and off since the when they redid all the water lines and shit.
Yeah, you got all that rust that's in the fucking pipes that is working its way through.
Right.
Dude. Do you get water from Cub still, or?
Yeah, well, Sam's Club, but yeah.
Okay. You know what I do, right? Here's my life hack for the day, guys. You go into Cub, you refill their water jugs, or you fill their water jugs. You go up to the self checkout and you type in 1 gallon water refill.
Yeah. Duh.
30 cents a gallon.
Who the fuck is putting brand new bottle ever?
Fucking
like
Karen.
Fucking ever.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's always been my thing. The moment that they turned like self checkout on, that was my permission to steal from them.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, dude. That's what I'm talking about. You're not paying me minimum wage. I'm gonna get.
But not even that. You have a job designated to somebody to do this. I'm not seeing a discount, so I will give myself my own discount.
Yeah. My brother is really funny because like he grew up. One of his first jobs was at a grocery store, He's like one of those guys where, I'm not using self-checkouts. I'm like, you really like interacting with idiots is what you're telling me. Oh, shit! I'm sorry if some of you work at grocery stores, listeners, but
and they do. Large demographic of grocery store listeners. That's what I bring in.
In my past, I have not had the best of luck finding a really sharp grocery checker outer person.
I feel like you can't say they're not sharp when you describe their job like that.
Excuse me, bitch.
I use big words. Dude, the Chinese virus being made in a lab. I'm glad that some reporting is finally being done.
Dude, I'm telling you, like I've been banging that drum this entire fucking time, and I don't think it was a fucking biological weapon. I think they were just trying to prove China was the best.
I don't know. I'm still on the fence on that.
Did you watch that video, right?
Yes.
Like, how funny is it that Wuhan might not even have pangolins or that bat?
I know. That is insane.
And if this doesn't, I just don't understand. Like, I still get in arguments with people where it's like fucking hard to like talk to them because they assume the information coming out of China is accurate, which it just is not.
No, and that's the biggest thing that you get to, like, I don't understand. Don't trust any government. Don't trust our numbers. Don't trust Italy's numbers. Don't trust South Korea's numbers. Governments lie, period. Like, you always have...
Wait.
Excuse me, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Are you saying that governments lie to us?
And what the really funny thing, or the crazy thing is like, watching how different countries lie differently about the numbers.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
China's obviously lying low, and we are lying high. Yeah. And I don't, like, it's so crazy.
Well, that's why I keep going back to we have no math. That's why I'm more inclined to believe my own eyes and what I trust. That's what led me to fucking China Uncovered. That's what led me to look deeper into all this shit.
I think it's like a Venn diagram. I think it's like if you want to take freedoms away from people, you exaggerate the numbers high.
Yes.
If you want to keep people from getting freedoms, you exaggerate the numbers low.
Ha ha ha. Bad Man Trouble, who's Jesse, goes, governments lie? ?
Yeah. Ever, never, ever.
Bad Man Trouble, subscribe again. It's month 2. You got to re-up, baby. Re-up on that shit. Yeah. Matt Sonic, subscribe. Go to Venmo at Corey Adam Comedy. Everything you give helps back into this.
Yeah. Unless Mr. Black is on with his feet, I'm going to do that.
Well, he just popped in a bunch of bits. Also, we don't talk about that. Get fucked, both of you.
Just trying to keep Mr. Black in the black, man.
Oh shit! So when do you think we'll get an announcement on whether or not Kim Jong-un is alive or dead?
I think Tom called it. I think it's going to be like his dad. It'll be a couple weeks. What they'll do is
I forgot, also to Tom's credit, I forgot that they did that, and they absolutely did that. They didn't announce that he was dead for like a month. I forgot that they did that.
You know what's funny is like Tom is so like almost outspoken in a way when it comes to politics and stuff like that, but he knows his shit most of the time when he's talking about stuff, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's like selecting the Pope in a ways with North Korea. I think like they're gonna wait until like all of their shit's in order before they make any kind of like public announcement, you know. Just to keep the line of succession going, so there's like little to no pandemonium or whatever. What I'm curious about is are they really going to put the woman in charge? What's the niece or whatever the hell?
The sister.
Yeah, sister. Sister.
Well, I don't know if you were watching the night, but I put that line of succession up.
Like, yeah, last night.
What's really interesting is how that cousin of his is actually the heir, but nobody's seen him for like a month.
Well, he's probably already dead.
Right.
Like
and he's the son of the uncle that Kim Jong-un already killed.
Already murdered, right. Well, and like the sister or whatever is already, like, she's been in politics pretty much her entire life, so it'd be kind of like a natural transition for her.
Bad Man Trouble says, isn't this for video games? Play some Contra already.
I'm playing GTA while I do this. That's my tip.
Mikey Two Milks just gave 100 bits for Tovar being a guiding light in these times of darkness.
Well, I'm glad you're getting paid for my fucking genius.
I wouldn't call 100 bits getting paid, but yeah.
Hey, he said guiding light, you motherfucker.
Yeah, well, I mean, could you guide him to like more money? Could you guide us all to more money? Get to guiding if you're gonna get pissed off about it, you prick. Oh
shit! Oh shit! Fuck. I think that we'll know who the new ruler of North Korea is before we're let out of lockdown. How about that?
This and more published in the new news article. Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that that's not the case. I agree with you 100% there.
I think that we're locked down here until like the first or second week of June, at least, at the very least.
Shout out to King of Clubs 99 for 500 bits. Or no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 500 bits. Fuck yeah, thank you.
See?
That wasn't for you guiding light.
I'm taking credit for it.
Mikey Two Milk says, fine, here's more, and then gave 1 bit.
Ah! Guiding light.
I don't think that's real.
Just call me whenever you need those big money donations. I'm here for you, man.
Yeah, thank you. You're really helping.
When you eat, we both eat.
Well, no, you said you didn't want to go eat. You said you weren't going to do that.
No, I'm definitely ordering from them. Not like I had Chinese food yesterday, so like I'm definitely that's the thing.
Let's just hang out real close to each other and fucking French kiss as we chew some fucking tiger pork. I'm sure it's safe.
Dude, I tried to get some tiger pork. They were closed.
I know. Yankees on Sunday. No go, baby.
Yeah, that's sad. I'm like they're open still, right? They're just not open on Sunday. It was just my bad.
Yeah, well, Monday and Sunday they usually will be closed, but I'm sure they've changed their hours during all this.
What's going to be the place that you're like saddest to see closed restaurant wise?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I will cry.
Yeah.
That's my jam. That's been my jam for like 30 years.
No, I know. You know that family like personally.
Yeah, I walk in and they're like, "Oh, he's the man with many stomachs. Let's feed him."
That's exactly how they sound like too.
No, I was gonna throw myself more into it, but I wasn't really committed. I don't really care. Because now if you imitate an accent, it's racist, and then all the cancel culture bullshit. Who cares?
Yeah, fuck this COVID. How long before we can do racist accents again?
That's what I'm saying.
You know what this world really needs more of?
Accents.
Shitty accents.
How are we ever going to get the next Jeff Dunham if we're not letting people do racist accents? That's what I want to know.
Dude, that guy, can you imagine like being a puppet guy? First of all, I've seen worse puppet guys than Jeff Dunham. Like, they're all like really fucking crass.
I mean, most puppet guys are worse. Like, that's the thing about Jeff Dunham that people don't realize is like, that's the best of the puppets.
Yes.
That's not the worst. That's the guy that was so good, he separated himself from the chaff and like got up. Like, outside of fucking like George and Otto, I don't think there's a ventriloquist act that I do like.
But think about like the constitution that it takes to become a good stand-up comic, right? Just being able to tell yourself yes when everyone else thinks you suck dick.
Yes.
Now add a fucking puppet. Like that, the amount of stones it takes to do something like that successfully is unbelievable to me. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, I mean it's weird. I mean, like with Otto and George, that guy had mental disorders where like the puppet was a fucking like manifestation of his own schizophrenia. Like there's a very famous story with him where he got stabbed in the puppet, which would be his hands, and he's on the floor crying about somebody help fucking George. Or Otto, or whichever one's the puppet. Like,
it was Otto that got stabbed.
But he got stabbed, and he's just like, somebody help him. Like, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, do you have any tips for people before we cut you loose?
Man, just like keep the distance, man. Like, we're a month into your exercise routine. Don't give it up. keep doing all the shit that you were doing at the very beginning, and realize that we're a long way from over, man. And play GTA.
I need a sound effect that just says pussy.
Yeah. Don't play GTA. Shoot me in the face for being such a pussy.
Yeah, I'm in. Get on a PC or PS4 or real console. I'm in. Time to take your training wheels off, buddy.
Yeah, no deal. No dice.
Well, fuck you.
I'm gonna stay on my yacht and my $5 million over here in my Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose at this point you've literally have
yeah, it would take me 3 years to rebuild up. Like for me right
now, Matt Doima just said Tovar's episode comes out tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually right, guys. I'm gonna be on the Awful Service podcast talking about like all the shitty automotive customers I've had over the years. It was actually a lot of fucking fun, and I gotta give Matt like the most fucking credit in the world, by the way, for like wrangling all those assholes.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Doima is kind of an asshole wrangler. That's like
He
one of his
does
strong
such
suits.
a good, yeah, like it's like a superpower of his, man. Like he can just take a bag full of dicks and make them behave.
Make him behave how? Tell us more.
You gotta call Matt.
Wait, hold on. What are they doing with the dicks?
That's the dick lifter, not me.
That sounds absolutely delicious.
Yeah. That's why everyone should watch it. Check out my episode. It's very delicious.
Oh yeah, is it? Would you say it's super delicious?
On a scale of like tasty treats, it's like an 8. It's an 8 on the scale of tasty.
David just said I sound delicious, Corey.
Well, there you go.
Fuck you, Mr. Black. Shut the fuck up. Booing him now. All right. No other tips or anything for the listeners?
No, man. Just that. Just shooting the shit.
All right, buddy.
Don't lose your constitution. Be
Well,
brave.
I'm gonna cut you loose. Enjoy your games. I will talk at you later, sir.
Very well. Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye. That was Stephen Tovar. Yeah, that's probably about what it is. You don't have to read everything on chat, Corey, besides the fact that I, Corey, smell my own farts. I see what you did. Fuck you, you motherfucker. Oh, shit! I love that. God, will never get sick of that. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you totally got me, you fucking piece of shit. You pawn scum piece of shit, Dave. Here we are, winding down on what was an absolute perfect episode. No meltdowns, no nothing. We were here. It was going to be amazing. And then you start that fucking shit. Look at this. Look at you uncork the bottle of shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, cannot believe you would do that. You're really fucking me up. Dunham does ventriloquism for Jeff Foxworthy's audience. Yeah, no, that's fair. I would agree with that. He's not that real good. I'm not a big fan. Not my favorite. I understand why he's who he is. I mean, again, he's one of those guys that gives a bad rap or gets a bad rap to a lot of stuff. So let's check some coronavirus numbers real quick before we go, right? Hey, so far, since everything reset, there's only been 6 deaths. That's pretty cool. Yesterday we had 1384, but we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on the 6, baby. The numbers are at an all-time low now. Also, we cracked 1 million cases. That's fucking crazy. I didn't realize that. That's garbage. Fun story, though. China just adding 1 case in China, you guys. I'm sure none so far. I'm sure that this is all on the up and up. I'm sure that nothing has been doctored. I'm sure this is just how it is. That's good, you know? Oh, yeah, China's reporting factually, for sure, right? And they just locked down yet another city. So now China has locked down 2 cities. They have outbreaks that they are claiming are happening. Their death totals and case totals are going up very substantially, even though they locked down 2 more cities. So 3 total cities in China are locked down. But don't worry, guys. 10 cases. It's fine. Yeah, on related news, only 10. Yeah, 10 people that died in Chernobyl. That's it, right? Yeah, it's factually appropriating. It's just factually appropriating, factually accurate. What do we see here? I want to see what this is. The scoop. What is this? California doctors. Oh yeah, this is that Erickson thing you were talking about, right? I'll tell you what, that is way too long to fucking watch on here. I have heard about this from people more than that. I don't know why I just posted that again for people, but whatever.
Morning till midnight, we're reporting to the health department, we're calling patients back, and at the same time, our volumes have dropped significantly. The hospitals, their ICUs are empty, essentially.
Yes,
and they're shutting down floors.
Okay,
they're furloughing patients.
This shit's garbage, you guys. I hate this, but I've learned to deal with it because I learned a sweet life hack, right? Like, what you gotta do. Hold on. Wait for it. It's coming. Here it goes. Did it work? Does YouTube have cliff notes? I know, that's what I'm fucking saying, right? Like, ain't nobody want to fucking deal with all that bullshit. That's a lot to go through. Like, a fucking hour of that shit? I'm good. You got to get me out in quicker than an hour, you know? There we go. Let's see if that does it. Okay. Now we bring it back. And it should be back to working properly, baby. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, fuck yeah. We did it. Look at that.
Small amount of death. And so this has caused some
So yeah, I will watch this because I haven't watched this yet, but you're not the first person to suggest I watch this. So I will do that as my own homework, which is cool. The first 20 minutes caught my attention. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll try to watch it tonight, and then we can talk about it tomorrow. I love the very long and informative stuff, especially when you're talking about doctors, because doctors aren't necessarily good at talking in nuance. They're just going to tell you the facts. They're going to tell you how it is. They don't have time to fucking sugarcoat shit because that's not kind of in their makeup. So I'm more inclined to watch and enjoy something like that than any kind of bullshit where they're going to tell us, oh, by the way, here's what an expert believes. Because a lot of the times those people aren't on the front lines, even though nobody really wants to bring that up, right?
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
I just wanted effects, man. I'm gonna be changing some of these sound effects, I think, tonight. I was gonna do some of them today, but it didn't happen. We got just a lot of fun stuff on here that I never fucking use. So where are we at for time? We're coming up right on it. Let's see here. The first 20 minutes caught my attention. They have 40 years of microbiology experience between them. Right, and that's what I'm saying is like, and I haven't watched it yet, so maybe I'm wrong, but when you listen to these people talk, the people that are experts in the field, it's very clear that they don't really know what's going on. And I feel like that's important. Snort Ajax. Yeah, Snort Ajax, man. Inject bleach. It's all going to be fine. We fucking got this. It's going to be great. It's going to be really great. Let me tell you. Look, just keep the Ajax. Just shoot it up. I know, Bigley, I know a lot of people with Ajax. It's fine. Look, I'll tell you. Look. Yeah. Time, keep going. Yeah, no, we only do this for 3 hours, Jess. I'm sorry that you showed up late. You got to get in. You got to get in earlier next time. We had a guy earlier talking barbecue all day. We had a really good episode today. Matter of fact, while I'm going over it, I think it's time we move into the end phase. Are you ready? Here we go. All right. Here we are. We've made it to the end of another one of whatever this ends up being. Still no name. Some people are mad about that. I don't really care. It's kind of what I do. But this is actually coming to conclusion. Episode 29 now. We're coming up on 30, man. We've been doing this for a while. Thank all of you guys for the support. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to go to Corey Adam Comedy at Venmo. Whoops, let's do this. Yep. Go to Corey Adam Comedy at Venmo or PayPal. All the money you give goes directly to keeping this show running because it will actually help keep my power on. Thank you. Yes, that's true. I don't really have any income right now, so this is what I'm trying to do. Thank you so much for everybody that subscribed. Thank you to Mikey Two Milks for some bits. Thanks to Kings of Clubs for some bits. Thanks to fucking MM Black for some bits. Super awesome. Thanks for the follows. Thanks to everybody that was here. I think this was a good one. I feel good now that there's more and more narratives about people looking into the lab starting of this virus because I said that it was that all along, and I feel really vindicated, and it feels good to know that some people are on my side and that we can research this. It's a very weird time when anytime you try to call out for something, somebody's calling you a racist, or, you can be against a government and not against the people. Also, stay safe. If you want to go out and keep your distance, do whatever you can to keep safe. I'm not saying stay indoors, but I'm going to, but just do what you can, man. Go out there, fucking play it safe. Just fucking get it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We do this Friday through Tuesday, so tomorrow will actually be our Friday, and tomorrow is actually the 30th episode, so we'll have some fun shit. I got a bunch of YouTube fun, weird shit that I didn't get to today, so maybe tomorrow's will be a lighter tune. Maybe I'll tell you what, I'll even try to get a new theme going for tomorrow. We'll do a light, fun, weird, funny one and see what happens. Thanks again to everybody who called in. Tom, Tovar, Corey Swap. of Jelly Bean and Julia Barbecue. Thank you guys so much. And of course, thanks everybody here who's listening. You guys have been awesome. And we will absolutely see you tomorrow. And and then we are on break. That's going to be nice. But remember, we go tomorrow is our Friday. We'll be back one more time tomorrow. Again, thank you, everybody. Go to Venmo, go to PayPal, Corey Adam Comedy. Follow me on any of these social media platforms that you like. We're going to be constantly changing the show, making it everything we can to make sure that everybody likes it and that even a high ass like Bad Man Trouble can understand how to keep his interest when he's so goddamn high. You guys have been awesome. Have a great night. That's not the right link. You guys have been awesome. Have a great night.
To our town, a microphone above his head. He didn't suffer fools, and he never took no lip.